Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover and just crossed him over next to him.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
All right, time for the crossover. It's powered by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. Check the back seat. Get the vaccine.
Check the back seat.
You know that song
vaccine.
4 years ago was "Get the Vaccine," and they just changed
vaccine.
it.
I don't
Has a
mind
nice ring to
repurposing
it, doesn't it?
Jingles.
My car tells me when to check the back seat. It says
It does.
Oh,
yeah. If it senses that there's something back there,
Classy.
it'll be like, look at it.
Oh yeah, if you put like groceries at a certain weight, it'll be like you need to
Mhm.
seatbelt this thing.
So mine tells me all the time because I have the car seat base back there.
Yeah.
I just keep it back there. So it's like, check the back seat. I'm like, I don't need to. There's no baby back there.
Can you somehow get the jingle though of it? Your car going check the back.
I'm sure there's a way I
seat.
can hack into
Yeah.
its system.
I feel like you should be able to use that audio.
Check the back seat.
Yeah,
Do people do that for their Tesla horns? You know, you could like
Yeah,
Yeah, you can customize
custom
the
horn.
sound.
Yeah.
Check
Should-
the back seat.
I know we've done this before, but I think it's time to revisit the worst commercials that have ever aired on this
Wow.
radio station. Now, there's
Oh,
a stipulation that
Worst.
the business must be out of business.
Yeah, because you don't want to piss anybody off.
See, I don't know any of those.
So jazz is like number one.
Yeah. See, does anybody have the archive of this? I've heard you've talked about this, Gary.
So-
I
Oh,
don't know-
jazz. I love jazz.
I don't know the jazz.
I miss
You like
jazz.
jazz, Evan?
I miss jazz.
I do too. That's where
Yeah, that's right.
I proposed to my wife there.
That's right.
But they
It's
had an
got
awful jingle.
special to me.
What didn't have great food, but I liked going there.
Oh, the chicken a la mare was good.
The ambiance.
It's
chicken
the
a la mare.
ambiance. It's about the ambiance, and it was downtown. It was a
Yeah.
good spot.
Yeah.
I
Felt like you were in New Orleans.
yeah. Bring back jazz. The
No, let's
walls
go.
were purple.
Yeah, they were.
A lot of purple and gold. It was good.
Always
it was
could get a
festive.
table,
It was It was New Orleans.
but they had
Yeah.
a terrible jingle.
I don't
And
know
that-
what the jingle
and-
was.
What was
and
it?
it
Check
happened-
the back jazz.
It happened to coincide with Barry Sanders was looking for a divorce lawyer.
Oh, that
Yes,
was
yeah.
God,
they would
what's the
always
guy's
air
name?
back to back.
He had a southern accent. The guy who. Oh man,
Yeah,
It's
this is
bugging
bugging me.
me.
This is bugging me.
we had it on the other station as well.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea what you guys are talking about.
Barry Sanders, divorce attorney.
Yeah,
Yes.
just yeah.
Google it.
Cordell and
Cordell,
Cordell.
yeah, Cordell and Cordell. Hey,
Cordell,
this
Cordell. They
this
still
is
do.
Jay- what the heck was his first name? This is Joe. Is it Joe? Oh, this is Joe.
Joe Cordell,
This
yeah.
is
Yeah,
Joe.
Joe
Cordell. This
Cordell.
is Joe Cordell.
They still do commercials on Royals games.
Oh, do they?
I do.
Yeah.
Is it Joe?
No, hold on.
Does Barry?
I
talk
thought
or
the
does
only
Joe
one. the
Cordell?
only ones I noticed are Jungle Law.
Well, Jungle Law, but they do.
Cordell and Cordell.
Cordell. Yeah.
Does Joe do them?
I'm pretty sure on the radio actually, so those can be heard locally.
So a lot of separated gentlemen watch baseball.
Cordell and Cordell.
They're in that
The
demo.
Jungle Law commercials are quite interesting.
Jungle Law is awesome. Yes. Yeah, those guys are nuts.
We need
Ryan Lefebvre in the middle of the game. Royals are losing 6-2 in the fifth. Now, word from our friends at Jungle Law, and then a guy comes on the screen. He's like, ah! And he's
Wearing a loincloth.
Yeah, he's in a jungle. I don't even get the bit. I have no idea why you would do that. That
Apparently
is a
they don't
business,
either.
by the way, that is not out of business, thriving business.
Yeah. You always
just,
need a lawyer.
just not local.
Yeah.
I miss the guy who will help get you out of your time.
Oh
there.
yes.
Even
That
if you
guy's still
die.
around,
Yeah.
right? Even when you die.
Yeah.
Where's that
Where's that
commercial?
guy? What is that guy's name
I don't
too?
know. I have no clue.
Oh yeah, no, I know that one.
So we need to.
Is
we
it
need
bad
to
that I feel like
spice
that
up the
guy's
local
overweight?
TV commercials.
I think he wears a really
Yes.
loose shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, we have too many like just normal, boring local TV commercials.
They're great commercials.
They're great commercials.
But I'm
Great
talking TV.
businesses.
But not, like radio is different. Radio, we have some variety. Radio, we have creativity.
Theater of the mind.
But TV, like when I was living in Lincoln, Weird Wally's was a car dealership.
Oh yeah,
and they'd always have
there's
a
still
funny,
signs.
and they'd have a funny commercial.
I don't even know if Weird Wally's is open anymore, but there's still signs.
Yes.
It's like welcome to Lincoln, Nebraska, home of Weird Wally.
Yeah, now we have like too many corporate type of commercials. We
Yeah.
need the local people doing their own commercial again.
I agree. Make commercials weird again.
yeah.
Yes,
Make
so
them
that
weird
they're
again.
noticeable. You know, when you're running right now as you're watching TV and you get like 4 political spots and then you get one, like local. You're like,
I'll
that
buy-
one stands out.
Right now, we're all at the point where we will buy from that one business just because they're not a political ad.
Oh, it's Chuck McDowell, the Wesley Financial Group.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Chuck
Sorry.
McDowell, Wesley Financial
Chuck
Group.
McDowell. Anyway,
Even when you die.
Even when you die.
the Wesley Financial Group.
What do we think about the acting in some of these commercials? These
Terrific.
political
Very
commercials?
good.
Some are good. A lot are bad.
Like
Lot are
I
bad.
think I would like to know like the making of certain political commercials. Like, when Don Bacon came in last election and I had to interview him for 35 friggin' minutes.
Hey,
Were you asked to interview him for 35 minutes? or
Well,
it just
Neil
happened
was
that way?
not here that day, and they're like, "Hey, you know politics, right? You know who Don Bacon is?" And I said, "Yeah."
That feels a little long for issues and answers.
It does.
I
Well,
believe that's a 30-minute
because
program.
I made his campaign manager very uncomfortable because I
believe it.
wasn't asking about abortion or anything like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to know about the bacon commercial.
Odd thing
I
to be
wanted to
made
know, is that your-
uncomfortable about.
I go,
You're not asking about abortion.
that makes me uncomfortable.
like
Mr. Sharp,
I did say.
could you please move this conversation back to
I did
abortion?
say to the person that
Back to
asked me,
abortion.
I said, if we get into this
I need Roe v.
conversation
Wade.
about abortion or anything else, I go,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be good with Q&A because I'm like, okay, thank you. That's your position. I'm not going to argue with you.
So you let him know going into this thing.
Not really.
No. He was-
So when he was trying to present the topics, I
Yeah.
was like, so was that your kitchen?
so as he tried to go into it, you completely derailed him every time.
Well, I had those were my important questions. I want to know
Gary wanted his questions
Where did
answered
you
by
air
the
that
audience.
commercial?
when you're doing an interview like
Nice
that,
it's a nice kitchen. Was that yours?
Sometimes the interviewee or their team will ask for a list
Yeah.
of questions.
Yeah.
And they'll supply them with that, but
Yeah.
you can't guarantee that it's going to stay on those
Yeah.
exact
No,
questions.
I mean,
it's not
they
a
had-
formulaic, thing.
there was like one about communist China and then abortion and then there was something else and I'm like, okay, I'll ask. And then I could just let him respond, and I didn't give a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that was your role in that show, and like people got on me. They're like, "Hey, you need to fact check him." I'm a sports guy.
I'm just filling in.
All right.
Man.
I wanted to know if that was his kitchen,
Yeah.
if he was really cooking bacon, where the idea came from. And actually, that was his best response.
I like the commercials of the political candidates now who just put their opponent saying something on
Yeah.
the screen.
It's the whole ad.
And then
I'm like, wait,
it
who is this ad for?
It goes, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message. I'm like,
So-
wow.
So we got a mailer. I thought this was one of the funniest things. This was actually, it wasn't said, but it was the mailer. It was for Tony Vargas. On the back, it's a woman with her hands up in the air like this, and it just says, "What the hell, Don?" That's all it says. It just says, "What the hell, Don?" And she's going like this. I'm like,
That's awesome.
what am I looking at right now? Like,
That's-
what is this?
That's awesome.
Like,
What's
let's
the
say,
message here?
let's say, and Tony Vargas is in a heated battle.
Basketball game.
People forget.
Ironically, with Don Bacon. Like,
Big
that's
free
the
throw.
question. If Tony Vargas comes in here, I don't want to talk about issues. I want to talk about the basketball game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did he win?
And then
Did
I
you-
want to know, like, how was it filmed? Where'd you go to film it?
Yeah.
How many
Like,
shots? How many?
Yeah,
free
how many
throws
shots
did
did you get?
Were you
How
at
long
Brian
did it
Windhorse's
take?
gym that he always
Yeah,
does
yeah.
his live shot from?
Yeah.
They're both fairly personable
Yeah.
fellas.
Okay.
I've only met one,
Hmm.
but I wish them both luck.
Have a
Because
good-
it seems like
have a good
they've been
political season.
campaigning for years.
There's an entire economy around both of those gentlemen.
Josh, you know what's going on over in the political community.
Sure.
Why don't you do some issues and answers?
Oh, you shut your mouth.
The mayor used to come
You're
in here,
the boss of Coil.
You are.
How
That's
did that
true.
happen, by the way?
and you used to
That
be
is
on a
very
news
true.
talk station.
Yep. I feel like
I
we
think
have
you'd be
something on
ideal
the,
right now.
Yeah, something's on the stove right now. Buddy.
Ed does a wonderful job.
Does Ed push back against Don Bacon and Tony Vargas?
I have no idea.
Does he fact check?
Hold on that thought. I got to Google.
That shows a lot like good officiating. If you don't hear about it, they're doing a good job.
That's
Nice.
that is a good way to put
It's
this.
not a ringing endorsement for future people that want to be on issues and answers, but to each your own. Yeah.
I'm looking at a picture of very tall person, Ryan Kalkbrenner,
Player of the year.
pretty tall person, Greg McDermott, and not so tall person, Stephen Ashworth.
Stephen Ashworth.
Tough day for Steve.
Well, there's another
Okay.
one. I think she's
Husband,
from-
husband, husband.
Yeah.
Husband Father.
Just a couple of fathers.
True. Yeah. A little dad's getaway. Oh, I bet they're tearing
what
it
are they
up.
doing?
Hey,
They're
yeah.
gonna tear up town tonight.
It's a dad's getaway.
Hey, so what you're saying, Kraton basketball is the BYU of the Midwest?
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
100%.
A lot of husbands and fathers.
So
on
there's
that
a
team.
picture. I think the young reporter is from Univision, and she might be like 4'11",
Nice.
and she's interviewing Kalkbrenner.
Oh man, that's.
I think you have to go to both extremes. If you're going to interview Kalkbrenner, you got to find the smallest person to do so. It's just the best.
Then
should be
maybe
the
you
bit.
go viral that way.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Here we go.
Some extra clip.
Where's the shortest person here?
You're going to Big East Media
Yep.
Day.
You go to the absolute extremes when you do that.
Is that on? Oh yeah, it's on Peacock.
It
right?
is.
Yes.
Can I hook up my Peacock? How many devices can I load on my Peacock?
3.
Let me tell you, Doug.
I think from past history, it works well.
Did Doug find out the answer to that, by the way?
Yeah, we gave him his answer.
Well, no, it was a home game. It didn't even matter to him, right?
Oh yeah, because it would have been it was
No,
the
it was
Purdue game.
Purdue. It was a
Purdue
road
on the
game.
road.
I'm sorry.
It was the first
Well,
roadie.
I mean, look at all the Big East games are carrying and the tournament.
Yeah.
Unless he goes to New York City, he's going to have the Peacock.
You saying Doug wouldn't go to New York City?
Oh,
Doug
no.
loves
He
New
will.
York
He's
City.
got all
Yeah,
that
he
money in the bank.
Aha.
It's federally insured.
FDIC.
Doug would never.
Oh look, it's John.
John is Dwight Schrute.
It's John's Peacock.
Let's see what the kids are watching.
Hey, I was-
I'm curious.
Like,
I know,
Christians.
go to continue watching. Let's see what John's in the middle.
Check his
watching.
history.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's see
oh,
what
look,
he's
there's
watching.
Danny Hurley.
Go back real quick.
No,
let's
I'm
check
not going
John's
back.
history.
I'm not going back.
Yeah, I want to see what
Let's
John's in the
check
middle of
John's
watching.
history.
No, that is an
Let's see what
invasion of
John's watching.
privacy.
No, it's not.
Maybe he's onto something that we need to know about.
Then log
Oh,
out
it's
of your
Ed Cooley, the head coach of Virginia. What's he doing?
Respect.
Okay, that's good. Now
He's
go back.
got a Michael Jordan.
Let's check
suit
John
on.
Bishop's history on this.
I'm curious too.
Hey,
I don't think you
just
can-
grab the control.
Gary, you can't look at
Yeah,
history.
you can.
Continue
You
watching.
just scroll down and continue
It's
watching.
going to be SummerSlam 1993, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
All right, now keep scrolling down.
NASCAR.
Continue watching. Only one. Oh, the $1 Million Heist.
Oh, he fell asleep during something and that autoplayed.
Fight night.
The round one, the Ballad of the Chicken Man.
I know because
What the hell?
I have fallen asleep watching shows on Peacock, and this is what it diverts to.
Okay, you need to ask John about this during the crossover.
John, how was the first 8 minutes of the $1 Million Heist?
Fight night.
I just started playing. I couldn't get it to stop.
Maybe.
No, it's gonna be like, what?
Hey, that's season 1, episode 1. Maybe it's like, I'm out. I'm pulling the
He
ripcord.
didn't like it. That's how I was with Quantico. Like, yeah, I can't do this. This is awful.
And the Peacock graphics that are basically the NBC Sports Network graphics are pretty good.
Yeah, they're sharp.
And that's a good looking picture.
Ed Cooley, great suit.
Ed Cooley suit with it's the actual. Is that a Michael Jordan pin?
I believe it's a
It's
pin.
gotta
I
be a lapel
thought
pin,
Michael
yeah.
Jordan was making its own suits.
He could be. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I
It is a
don't think
pin.
he'd be making that suit though.
No.
It's pretty blue.
That ain't MJ's.
Do you think
Oh
Michael,
yeah, that's true. It
Do
could
you think
be
Michael
North
Jordan
Carolina.
would cut his own kid if he was on the Bulls?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. He would not allow him to play at the same time as him.
There's
like-
Orange Crush.
Yeah,
right
there's
there.
an Orange Crush,
Orange
a
Crush.
Schweppes?
and one Aquafina.
Yeah.
What the
What,
hell
what, do
is
you,
Ed Cooley doing?
what do you prefer, Ed?
He's in the middle of a cleanse.
with the Orange Crush.
It is almost respect to Ed Cooley's season.
That is
Oh,
the
yeah.
most random assortment of beverages I think I've ever seen.
Hey, Josh, do you
Yes.
want to start with your prediction this year of the 9-win Georgetown team?
Oh, try and find 9 in their schedule. I mean, I'd have to look at their schedule.
I thought you were going to refer to Josh's other prediction, which looks real good right now.
It looks
by the way.
great right now.
It says Bronny plays 12 plus minutes on Christmas for the Lakers.
So we
Like
got
3 last night.
3.
yeah, he's going to get 12 on Christmas.
Is John Fanta?
It's a
work for
family affair.
everybody.
Mhm.
John Fanta's
That's
a
right.
whore.
Well, yeah,
whoa,
but
whoa,
we love
whoa.
John Fanta.
He's a lovable whore.
John
Oh, okay,
Fanta.
all right, that's better.
I saw Johnny Fanta
Poll
doing.
question?
No,
Okay.
I saw John.
Seems like a guy that Googles himself.
that was my name on it.
Poll question.
He was doing some stuff with like a UNC Wilmington or
So
something.
they brought
like-
him down to
Yeah.
talk to the student athletes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? Why?
Hey,
What
You
kind
know
of
him,
advice?
he-
What kind of wisdom could he impart on?
so
me?
I'm lucky enough that I got to know him before he. And
Look,
he's very
here's the deal.
talented,
Okay,
and he
don't become
blew
a
up.
Browns fan. That's what he was saying.
So
When he
when
slipped on
he
the
was
street?
when it was just the Big East Digital Network, and remember his first claim to fame was he was outside of New York City and he
slipped
fell.
Yeah, he fell on the slick street.
So he was just starting that. And he was coming in town to cover an Omaha game. And we started texting back and forth. He goes, "Can I come into the studio?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Absolutely.
Now, this is like 3 years ago. And he came in. He looked like a guy that just gotten out of bed but ate a hearty breakfast. And I'm like, this guy's going places.
You're right.
He just got out of bed, but he ate a hearty breakfast.
You nailed that one. He is going places.
So I'm glad to see that he is doing a lot of stuff. Loves him some basketball.
There's more Orange Crush
More
and more
Schweppes and Orange Crush. I love that Orange Crush is coming back.
The Big East Conference brought to you by Schweppes and Orange Crush.
I love that Orange Crush is a thing.
Do you think that is is that the Big East Conference or is that Peacock?
It says the Big East
The
Conference.
Big East.
The Big East is sponsored by Orange Crush.
And Schweppes.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not Pepsi?
You thought it was awesome that UNO got Coca-Cola? Oh, hell, this is even bigger.
Why did they go down the list of Coca-Cola subsidiary or Pepsi subsidiaries?
No idea.
Orange Crush.
Is Schweppes a Pepsi deal?
We're really trying to push Schweppes right
Yeah.
now.
The Schweppes,
So are we
we
going to
can't
see-
move units. We need
I'll
you
do
guys to
Mountain
help
Dew.
us.
Hey, are we going to see
Nah, it's been
Crush
done.
and Schweppes on MSG's floor for the conference
I
tournament?
hope
have
so. Oh, I hope so.
On top of
There's
the camera that moves
a big old
That's right.
Orange Crush logo.
the bunny cam.
Man, is anybody else thirsty for an Orange Crush right now?
I
'Cause
love Orange
I
Crush.
kind of am.
I would
Yeah.
rip an Orange
Yeah,
Crush.
I'm looking at that thinking, gosh, that sounds really good. Really does.
Poll question. Would you rip an Orange Crush right now?
All right.
After watching Big East Media Days, would you rip an Orange Crush?
God, when was the last time you saw like a vending machine that was one of your options?
Yeah,
Oh, no, man.
it's been a while.
I don't know what the kids are into drinks-wise these
Prime.
days outside of that, Jake Paul drink.
Prime.
Well,
It
get
all
actually
about
is
Prime.
really good.
No, it's
like the
not.
strawberry banana, I like.
Okay.
Well, are you guys just against it because kids? You know what?
Because
Kids- kids are
I'm too
stupid.
old for it.
Okay, good thought here from Black Cat.
High Black Cat.
Is the Orange Crush a jab at Jeff Goodman?
Oh, the orange jumpsuit.
You look good in
Oh,
orange.
Yeah. Could be. That's a hell of an observation right
Shout
there.
out to Blue Demon Degenerate.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. That's very good.
I love the Big East. I love the Big East.
So
Parody
they-
song. I love LA, but I love the Big East.
They are so petty. They went and got a sponsor for one particular media guy, and it's too bad he's not there today.
Is he not?
No, because I think Field of 68 is covering this.
Why
Well,
not?
or he's not. I'm sure Field of like Doster might be there because he lives.
Well,
in
what
that
the hell
area.
else would Jeff Goodman have to be doing today?
He lives in Charleston, South Carolina now. There's a lot to do in Charleston, South Carolina
He was just tweeting about the NBA last night. That's all.
because he's a huge Celtics fan. I think he's a Boston guy, right?
I
Well,
think
remember
so.
he
yeah, he
used to
is.
cover the NBA
Yeah.
for ESPN
Yeah, he is. That's
until he kind of had an issue, and they were like,
He's been here a lot. I've seen him here a lot.
I mean, many people just like good basketball. NBA record-setting threes on ring night, banner night.
Mhm.
Cowards at TNT wouldn't even show the banner being raised to
Hey,
the rafters.
you wanna talk about
Respect,
cowards.
respect to the dude that had the jersey that says Celtics just says banner. That was actually pretty cool. I
I'll
was
tell you
like,
about
all
it,
right.
coward.
That's
Joe
cool.
Mazzulla. How are you not playing Boston's own Baylor Shireman
Shireman,
on
yeah.
the first night?
It was his decision.
Up a
Go.
million points against
Yeah.
the Knicks.
What
Maybe
the
you
hell?
trot out your
You want to
rookie.
talk about chucking threes? I got the guy
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah, they would have got the record then. Come on.
He kissed the floor, and they asked him what it tasted like afterwards, and he said, "Blood. I wish."
He's such a psycho.
Yeah, kind
and
of.
remember when he was a deer in the headlights guy in interviews?
Uh-huh.
Now
That
I
first
can't
year.
wait to
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
microphone in
Yeah,
I
front of him.
know. Yeah. Talk to him all you want.
Pretty quick turnaround on that.
He'll say something wrong at the wrong time, though.
Definitely.
Can't wait.
I still got Tatum. He's got Brown. They're fine.
Old man Doug is checked in.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
good.
Hi, old man.
How's
Doug.
his Peacock?
Is he watching?
He
yeah, is
said he
watching Big East
figured out
Media
the
Day?
Peacock,
Hell yeah, Doug.
and he's just getting ready to take off for Escanaba, Michigan.
Oh,
What's
beautiful,
in Escanaba?
Beautiful this time of year.
I don't know what Escanaba even is.
I don't
To start tailgating for the Michigan State game?
Escanaba.
Is he going to the UP?
Ooh,
Is he
yeah.
going to?
Is he going to be a
Is
Yupa?
he going to winterize the cabin?
Is it in the Yoopers?
Is it in the Yupa? Does he say crumps?
Mm.
Crumbs.
It is in the Yoops.
Oh, he's going to the
okay.
Yupa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Hiawatha National Forest.
God, they must have
Sweet.
probably got a foot of snow up there already.
Yeah.
We have not seen the NDOT picture yet of the Panhandle.
That's
Thank
That's
God.
So
right.
we're good. So we're good.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen snow
That
in
is,
the
that is a
Panhandle
good
yet.
call. Usually by now you've seen
Yeah.
it twice.
Hey, I like that winter is not going to come. Summer's not going to end around here. I
hope
love this
so.
weather.
That's
This
right.
weather is great.
No, it's going to be.
I did turn off
Chilly
my
today.
sprinklers though a week ago.
Nope. Did you unplug your hoses?
Get a little brown.
You gotta clean out the hoses.
No, blew 'em out.
I have not unplugged my back hose.
Oh,
yet.
your actual attached hose? Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't have a sprinkler system.
I didn't for a very long time.
I just don't have a sprinkler system.
I had a system. I had my own system, my own manual
gotta
system.
go
that was
out-
pretty to the point.
Yeah, but like I kind of like the idea of walking out there in the morning with like shorts,
Do you?
a hoodie, and a coffee, and then
And
just
just
kind of
ho-
standing there for
And
a
just
second.
watering.
Yeah, like that's
That's the
gosh.
American dream.
yeah. I
You
mean,
know what?
Right there.
I kind of like it.
I mean, we right now are appealing to that 18 to 34 demographic of this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want the sprinklers to do all the work for me. What's the
Oh,
fun in that?
you know what? I once I realized that they do all the work, and I saw my neighbors that used to have that. Oh yeah, I really got on board. It's amazing how much time.
You wave at your neighbor.
Yeah.
You know.
See,
go-
Connor, I think you'd love The Sopranos because the first 15 minutes of every
Yeah,
episode of The
yeah,
Sopranos
watering the lawn.
is Tony walking out to the end of the driveway, pick up the paper, opens it up, and reads it right there at the end of the driveway and waves at the neighbors.
Dude, I love
And,
that.
and yes,
wearing a
usually
robe?
there's somebody watering a lawn.
Yeah.
Oh,
holding a
I
coffee.
love that. I would love that. I would love
There is lawn watering taking place.
that. Hey, look, it's Kim English. Remember when that lady asked him about how hot he was or whatever?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was weird.
Once again, the Big East rules. How do you not love this conference?
And now with the addition of Orange Crush and Schweppes.
Yeah.
Man, just random. But it does make it's good product placement.
Those are two odd products to try and
Yeah,
move.
But now all I'm thinking about is an Orange Crush.
We got a tweet from TG.
Hi, TG.
It appears as if an Orange Crush cake exists.
what?
Oh,
Whoa,
Look at that, Nick.
oh, sure.
that looks good.
That
Yeah.
does not look good.
No, I think I could see that being good.
Like an orange cake with a nice little glaze on it.
That's exactly.
Yeah,
It looks like a big orange donut.
I'd be down for that. I'd try it.
Would try.
would probably try. Would not.
I hope your
probably
poll
enjoy.
is at 100% of how many people would rip a Orange Crush. Right
Yeah,
now.
where are we sitting
Oh,
right
that
now?
better,
Josh?
be, that better be 100%.
We are at 87.5%.
Oh, come on.
You can
question.
always,
rather have a Minute Maid.
you can always account for about 20% troll
Uh-huh.
factor.
Yeah.
So
Would
That's
you
true.
rip an orange crush right now? That poll question is up at Happer Show.
Also, speaking of food, I was invited to a reception the other
Uh-oh.
day.
cookies.
I didn't bring anything.
You don't have to at a wedding.
Oh, but they were crumble.
It was a reception for somebody who had won an award.
Hmm.
And they said, "We hope you stop by. There will be drinks and dump cake."
Oh, I've heard of dump cake.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
the name.
I have no
Yeah.
idea what dump
So
cake
it's
It's for white people.
Yeah. No, he's right.
it's
is. This person being honored was white.
there's yeah
Good
it's
track.
it's like the thing that you put it in. It's like a pan that you end up.
You just
It's a
dump-
casserole.
You,
You
dump,
dump
all
it.
the ingredients in it.
yeah, and then you flip it and it just goes, vroom, and then there's your
Okay.
cake. Yeah,
Because they made it sound like I should know because I'm from the Midwest.
yeah.
You should.
I
We're going to have
didn't-
drinks and dump cake.
I didn't know what it was until I believe my mom made it once.
You're from Iowa, right?
Yeah.
You got to know what a dump cake is.
No, I'd never heard of it before.
Poll question going up at Happer Show. Does Dump Cake have a bad PR team?
I don't want to do two dump cake poll questions, but I really like if you're from Iowa, should you know what a
Should
dump
you know what a
cake
dump
is?
cake is? Yeah. I believe it was in my latter years that I discovered a dump
Okay,
cake
so
was.
maybe in Iowa, you know what a dump cake is. Nebraska, you don't. We don't know what chilies and cinnamon rolls are.
Yeah.
You guys over here.
You guys had heard of Fool's Errand, right?
Yeah.
Gary never heard of that. He thought it was something that was
I think
made
that's
up.
a Nebraska, Iowa thing.
Yeah, he thought it was like a total Midwest thing.
I don't
Really?
know. What's
Yeah.
that?
A Fool's Errand?
A fool's
Like
errand?
if someone goes, "Oh, you sent me on a Fool's Errand."
It's a wild goose chase.
yeah, like
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've heard that phrase before.
Okay.
I didn't know if you were
Yeah,
talking
What
about.
we call it in Iowa is, hey, do you want to go hunting for snipe?
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I feel like a Fool's
Ruined
Errand is
me
a
at
lot easier to
YMCA
say,
camp.
but you know,
I was so excited because we caught a snipe. And then they told us the next morning that it got away.
yeah.
I was crushed.
Mm.
Fourth grade Gary was like,
Oh,
Slippery little suckers.
let's go. Blue Demon Degenerate just followed me on Twitter. We're back.
All right.
your,
That's
burner
right.
account for college football or your real one?
That's my.
Yeah. By the way, did you guys
Yeah.
put something out on Friday with that burner account?
No, I don't know
Okay.
the login anymore.
Oh, okay.
People were
somebody was bringing it back, or at least
people were
screenshotting it.
reposting.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
they were.
good.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, they were reposting.
That's
stuff.
good.
It
Keep it
was
going.
about something going on in the SEC. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that one pop up.
Keep
Someone
it
had
going.
tagged me on it. thought
I
maybe
think
you got
the
it.
better product placement here would be if the athletes are actually drinking.
I know, like, he wants to drink that Orange Crush.
Take a swig and tell us. Great.
Look in the camera
and just
say,
go, "Ah."
man, I love Schweppes.
I'd also like to point out that they're using it's a tall, narrow, skinny bottle of Schweppes.
Yeah.
It's not
fancy.
like the fat 20-ounce bottle,
Mhm.
like the.
You know what?
the
There is
Crush.
something about that bottle, though. I do like that bottle.
How is
The
Bryce
Schweppes
Tall,
Hopkins?
skinny,
golf
just
bag.
the tall, skinny
How is
bottle.
Bryce Hopkins still in the Big East?
Because he tore his ACL last year. Remember?
He
Mhm.
has been
Right before the Kraton game.
but he has been in the league. It seems like forever.
He has. He has.
There he is, and he's looking good.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
You can play college basketball for 6 years now if you
Yep.
want.
So can Cam Rising.
You can
but he
play-
just plays football.
You can play at 4
Yeah.
schools, whatever you want. Transfer back to the
Going back
original
for an
school
eighth
you
year.
went to.
All
By the
right.
way, one text before you guys go. Here's Aaron. Just got back in the car. You guys were talking about ripping an Orange Crush, and
Yeah.
I think I'm literally going to get an Orange
Yes,
Crush right
yes.
now. Everybody,
Hell
hold your
yeah.
Orange Crushes up for us
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And rip them.
Tip one for all
In
of us.
honor of
that
the Big
Orange
East.
Crush.
Yeah, send us a photo of you drinking an Orange Crush today.
And we might give you tickets to the Creighton game on
Oh,
Saturday.
yeah.
there you go.
We have things to
All
give
right.
away.
Yeah.
I like it.
that.
So it's got to be a picture
You know
of
what?
an
Thank
ripping
you
an
to the
Orange
Big
Crush.
East for bringing back Orange Crush because certainly the Denver Broncos didn't.
What, Orange Crush better than Sunkist?
Ooh. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
I think so.
I don't know the
It's
the
close.
intricacies. I don't know the differences.
I think Orange Crush is better.
better brand.
What about
Yeah.
High C?
Ooh,
High
but
C,
see,
High
High
What
C
is the
McDonald's.
High
so
C's
when
got
you
a
go to
pop, though.
McDonald's?
High C's got a
now,
pop.
McDonald's is High C, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
High C
but it's
or,
not
or
orange-
Powerade.
But it's
Orange
just
Lava
juice, not a
Burst.
pop. I need the carbonation.
Yeah.
I want the soda.
I'm with you. Every once in a while, I like to get lemonade out of the machine too. I get lemonade sometimes at the Husker games in the press box,
Mix it up.
and it kind of, jolts me.
A little syrupy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some juice in that. It's good. Gotta go off the grid every once in a while. Can't just be Diet Coke all the time.
Hey, no sound out of Lincoln today. Everybody is safe.
That's true. Nobody gets to say anything bad today.
Many people are asking Gary if you have refilled your blinker fluid in your car.
That's the other phrase.
Yes.
Snipe
the
hunt.
blinker fluid.
Yes. No, I
Gary
mean,
believes some things.
He was a child.
I was a child. I was in 4th grade. It was YMCA camp.
Yeah.
It was dark. So they're like, okay, we're going snipe hunting. And I'm like, this is awesome. So it was
Right.
like 15 of us.
Big
and we
kids
had-
are finally letting me do
And we had
something.
the high school kids that were leading the way.
Yeah.
And we went into the bushes and they made all this noise and we caught a snipe. And so the one guy had it in his bag and I remember him shaking it. And then we were so excited because it was still dark and there was no light. So they weren't going to show us.
Yeah,
They're
because
like, you
it
know what? We
wasn't
got
real.
a cage. We're going to put
Yeah.
it in. And then when we came to the meeting site in the morning before breakfast, they were like, we got some bad news. The snipe got away.
Shocking.
Mm.
Shocking development.
Now, it was probably not until about 7th grade that I figured out that there's no such thing as snipes
That's
that you go
right.
hunting for.
Did you try it on anybody else, like a younger
No.
generation? Oh,
Well,
you
I mean,
should
like
have.
my brother, I did.
Okay.
Isn't that what they were trying to find in the movie Up?
I never
something
saw
about a
it.
snipe in
Yeah.
that movie.
I never saw Up.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Is it?
The little fat kid and the dog?
Poor
Yeah.
guy.
No, he's got
That's
it.
a great movie.
He's got it.
That's a great movie.
It's such a simple concept. We overthink movies today.
We
just
do.
have a fat kid and a dog.
Well, I guess there's an old guy too.
An old guy in the first 10 minutes is him and his wife dying, and you feel like a horrible.
No, he didn't die. He stayed
No,
alive.
yeah.
But he offed his wife.
No,
No,
his
no,
wife died.
no,
It was a
no.
great love story.
It
His
was
wife
very
died.
sad.
Who is? Wait, who is in this? Because this was just recently, right?
It,
Ed
no,
Asner.
no.
It wasn't recent.
I mean, it's animated.
Like
and
last 10 years, right?
I would guess that Up came out in the neighborhood of 2000.
Doesn't the kid fly away with a
That's right.
balloon?
Okay.
Doesn't he fly away?
Yes, many
Yeah.
balloons.
Yep, many balloons. The
And
house
yes,
flies
yes, it
away.
was a snipe.
The whole house flies away.
All right. So there was murder in Up.
Well,
No one was murdered.
Suspicious death. That's all.
The old man, his wife was at the end of her time on her journey.
Natural
He
causes.
didn't want her to suffer, and so he slipped her
I saw
something.
this. Yes, I did watch this. Yeah, I did watch this.
Yeah,
Okay.
They tricked kids. They thought Up was going to be like G-rated.
Yeah.
You go in there and
Gary
it's like
thinks
R.
Up is a murder mystery.
It's a classic whodunit. Yeah, I didn't get that.
Is
Yeah.
Up a classic?
Yes, that's the best way to phrase it.
All right.
People are going to have to think twice about Up now. They're going to have to let me go back and look at it. Let's reopen the files.
Yeah, let's think about
Selfish
this.
choice.
Let's really piece this thing together.
All right. Have a good day.
Enjoy your Peacock.
Oh, we will. Big East. Brought to you by Crush and Schweppes.
Does that look like the Villanova head coach?
And the crossover, that's Kyle in Neptune. That's my guy. Crossover powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everylevelconcrete.com. We'll start things off next.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. It's Big East Media Day that I just remembered.
Oh, it's one of the biggest days of the year, Connor.
It's a huge day.
How do you not have this bookmarked on your calendar like everything else?
Look at how low that scoreboard is at Madison Square Garden. It's almost down to the floor. I wouldn't advise you to go underneath that because it might break and it might crush you. No, I don't think it will.
Hey, Big East Media Day is brought to you by Crush.
Brought to you by Orange Crush and Schweppes, of course. So if anything comes out of that, we'll check in from Madison Square Garden. Kraton has their exhibition on Saturday.
I believe Creighton's already gone today, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
So if I see any coverage or videos out there that are important, I don't know.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Kraton has their exhibition on Saturday evening at the Chai, and you could be there. We'll have an opportunity for you to win tickets into that exhibition game against Purdue coming up during the show today. Elsewhere, Mitch Sherman will join. Robin Washut will join. That's the lineup powered by the referees. John Higgins, Weather Guard. Want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer. On the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, email Connor Josh Show at 1620thezone.com. On the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers out there. What's up, brother? Keith Stone writes in.
Hi, Keith Stone.
Look at him. It's Keith. He loves. Yeah, it's Keith Stone.
All right.
Yeah, that's Keith Stone from Keystone Light. Can't look it up the same anymore.
We're sorry to have to have changed that classic children's film for so many of you.
I got to rewatch that thing with a different eye. That's for sure.
Different people see things differently.
Yep. So if we spoiled up for you, we made it a little different for you, we apologize. Or if we made you buy an Orange Crush, we don't apologize for that.
No, that's
you should be thanking us for that. That's what Aaron did as of this morning. You could find that tweet at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. So you can comment in on the YouTube throughout today's show. And we would encourage you to do that, especially during our banner, our marquee segment, Josh, coming up at noon. I have an opinion, returns to the airwaves. So we will, Josh has already received an opinion on the Equitable Bank inbox.
That's right.
I have not received. And Josh said something along the lines of this morning, oh, Connor, you're going to like this one. Or something like that.
It's
right?
spicy.
Okay. I love a good spicy opinion. Send in your spicy opinions to wherever you'd like to get in touch with the show. Elsewhere, we will, of course, have comments on yards per play gate.
Big controversy.
And as Gary mentioned, the crossfire, nobody's talking in Lincoln today. So you can mark yourself safe from that on your Facebook pages. LeBron James and his son played an NBA game together last night.
Many of you are triggered.
Okay. Tony White also talked yesterday. We'll
Might not have heard his quotes.
We'll ask another big picture question about Nebraska football heading in. We'll finally start to turn the page to the Ohio State game, like a little bit. We'll have your Kraton ticket giveaway, some Big East stuff if it comes along, and an interesting nugget on the TV viewership for that ESPN Plus Monday night game, Josh. Wow.
Oh, yeah. The NFL does huge numbers. I can't wait to see. You can put that thing on a Tuesday afternoon.
What's a low number?
And 1 billion people will watch.
What's a low number for an NFL game? Like
4 million would be abysmally low, right?
Yeah, like that'd be horrendous, right?
Yeah.
Less than 2 million people watch that game.
Eep.
This is according to report. So this is according to reporting from Mike Florio, because ESPN announced that a whole bunch of people watched the other game, but they didn't mention anything about this game.
Yeah, they probably combined 11,000 trillion million people watched the ESPN Monday Night Football doubleheader. And we won't tell you who watched what game.
And it was a record night, or near a record night, for Manningcast as well.
Oh.
So they put a game on ESPN Plus, and of course we didn't find out anything about the viewership of ESPN Plus because ESPN didn't want to tell us about it because the ratings were abysmal. I mean, they were horrendous. Per a source with knowledge of the data from Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, the game attracted an audience of 1.8 million people. And that includes the audience that watched it over the air in the local markets of Phoenix and LA. Phoenix and LA, Josh, not small markets.
Right.
I don't know how many people watch this game outside of those markets on ESPN Plus. From what it sounds like, it wasn't any more than probably about 500,000 people.
Oh no.
I mean, woo! We've already talked about the Monday Night Football doubleheaders and how they're stupid and they're ruining their own ratings. But putting the second one on ESPN Plus was a horrible decision.
God, they probably thought it was a great idea because so many people watched that playoff game on Peacock.
Yeah. Yep. You don't really give them a reason to tune into ESPN Plus. You got the other game on at the same time. You could just pass. And pretty much all of America did.
I did
Monday night. I did as well. I was part of the record audience of the Manning cast. All right. So we're off and running on a Wednesday. Don't forget to get your opinions in for the old opinion bag coming up here in just a little while. Of course, we'll check in with all the things that were going on in Husker camp yesterday. Mitch Sherman, Robin Washut coming up today on the show. Coming back, Josh, last night was NBA opening night. We love the NBA.
That's right. Thank you. I would like some time to talk about the dominant run that the Boston Celtics are currently on.
No, thank you. No, thank you. We have to talk about a man and his son playing in an NBA game together.
All right, we can do that.
All right. Because people have opinions on this. I have an opinion as well. A little I have an opinion.
That's what today's all about.
Coming up next on 1620 The Zone. Here's a text from Heath.
Hi, Heath.
Went to Casey's to grab an Orange Crush.
Great thing to do today.
They did not have any Orange Crush.
Well, it's
they
good you went to
also
Casey's.
didn't have any Sunkissed or any Casey's Orange Soda. I've never been craving an Orange Crush more than I am right now. We apologize.
Get this man an Orange Crush.
Yeah. Did you see that the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines is now changing its name to the Casey's Arena?
Yes.
That'll be fun.
I have heard that they'll have those quick grab and go stations, but they won't have any bottles in there.
Josh is such a hater of Casey's. I like this. This is a good bit.
I love Casey's. I just want the best for them.
All right, so Rick Pitino is talking at Big East Media Days right now, and lately Rick Pitino has been known for being in Kentucky. He's always talking about Kentucky.
He has a lot of opinions on Mark Pope's program.
Yeah, he wants to support his dear friend Mark Pope. All right, and that's okay. But I have a hypothetical for you, Josh.
Okay, I like where we're going. I
What?
don't know where we're going, but I like it.
What? Like, I'll just ask it this way, and we can. I don't know what the corollary is to something around here, but you're a fan of St. John's. Your coach is Rick Pitino.
Mm-hmm.
Your coach shows up a lot of times during the offseason talking about how cool of a program Kentucky is, wearing Kentucky stuff and talking about Kentucky all the time. What are your thoughts?
Well, as a gracious Midwesterner, I'd probably be like, well, he spent a lot of time there. It's an important part of his self-identity. As a jackass New Yorker.
Sports fan?
Yeah. Bleep that guy.
Yeah. It's a little confusing.
Why won't he love me?
It's a little confusing. Yeah, and then all he does when he talks about St. John's is how he needs like better stuff, and he wants to play all his games at Madison Square Garden, and all that. Like if
we gave you the garden,
it's like if Matt Rule just kept showing up at Penn State for whatever. Like he was still the coach of Nebraska. He'd reiterate many times how he loves Nebraska, but then every once in a while he'd just show up at Penn State stuff wearing Penn State gear. Penn State Alumni Day, Penn State Hall of Fame Induction Day. Matt Rule's just there.
We would not stop talking about it.
That would not go well.
Perma-triggered.
That would not go well. So just wanted to throw that out there. That's basically what Rick Pitino's been doing this offseason.
Got a question in the YouTube for you.
Hello, YouTube.
Connor, speaking of basketball, how many fantasy points did Anthony Davis get you last night?
Great
He
question.
had 36, 16, and 3.
So my app kept telling me this throughout the evening. I didn't look. It appears that if it is 72 good, is 72 points good.
Sounds very good.
All right. You have to understand that I'm not changing anything about this fantasy team.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
I'm not adjusting the lineup.
You don't want to be a part of this.
That is correct. So it says next to that D Vassell guy, Devin Vassell, it says that he's injured at the moment. He will score me 0 points.
Okay.
I assume this is a week situation. This is a week.
Generally, yes.
Yeah. So Anthony Davis had a pretty good night. He got me 70. He got me 72 points.
Yeah. If you didn't tune into yesterday's show, Connor
accidentally joined a fantasy league,
and
I'm mad about it, and I can't leave it.
Cannot leave the league. Will not rectify the situation, which, quite frankly, I respect.
What do you mean rectify? How am I supposed to rectify? I can't leave.
His enemy, Anthony Davis, is on the team.
Yeah, this is the worst thing.
Yeah, hilarious. It'd be like if I auto drafted a fantasy football team and I had like the Houston Texans defense with JJ Watt.
Yeah, JJ Watt. Yeah, you just had JJ Watt. Yeah. No, that'd be bad.
Good bit.
That'd be bad for everybody.
Good bit. Do
you want me to stay in this league now for the bit?
Well, I don't think you have a choice. You've said you can't leave.
Well, I don't know when the opportunity opens up for me to be able to delete my team, but it hasn't yet.
I feel like that would always be an option, right?
No, it's like there's a certain point where it's like it locks, I think, before the draft, but I got in like minutes before the draft started on accident. And then it named my team Connor's crazy team, and then it drafted me Anthony Davis. This is the worst thing of all time. All right. LeBron, speaking of the NBA, LeBron James and his son played an NBA game last night. Okay, so think about it real quick. Pretty cool, pretty crazy, right? A man and his son playing in an NBA game together. NBA may be one of the least likely sports for that to happen. I don't know. It's just tough to have that much longevity in the league.
Right.
LeBron's one of the greatest players of all time. And that is not an insignificant nugget here in this conversation.
It's very important to this story, actually.
Because here's the deal. I want to see the good in this. I do. And I like LeBron. I'm not a LeBron hater. There's some stuff that LeBron does that I don't understand why he does these things. But I'm not a LeBron hater. Like I'll engage. I'll listen to the people who are like LeBron's the best of all time. Like I'll listen to that. I'm not offended by the whole LeBron conversation, but that felt weird. It just didn't feel special. Probably because it wasn't organic at all. It was antiquated. It was predetermined.
That's right.
Like the poor LeBron James Jr., who seems like a great kid, doesn't belong in the NBA. And, he'll keep getting opportunities because you drafted the guy and you want to make something out of him. Right. And if you put a guy who has those athletic capabilities into, small, meaningless roles, he's going to keep playing. Like anybody could play that spot. Anybody could play that role. He's not overqualified. He's probably underqualified for his role, but you could do that, step in for a few minutes at the midway point of the second quarter, when guys are getting a blow or something like that. They came in at the same time. They had the whole thing off to the side. Hey, you ready? You ready to go?
Yeah.
Basically like you ready to make some history. It's and I'm not saying that the NBA shouldn't, or the NBA community, I should say. I'm not saying that the NBA community shouldn't acquiesce to LeBron in some ways, right? Like, I think it's great that we're honoring one of the game's best players of all time. We don't know how much time we have left with LeBron, right?
Many
it's
people
good.
in the NBA could not get away with it. Chris Paul could not get away with this. Like,
no.
You have to reach a level of fame, importance to the game that people will do this for you. And LeBron has reached that level.
Yep.
It can be completely manufactured and fake.
It is.
And also really cool. Maybe not really cool.
I struggle with
that's
that.
Neat.
I'm with you, though.
It's one of those, you're not the main character in this story situation. This is entirely something for LeBron, for Bronny James. It's not for you, the viewer of the National Basketball Association.
That's it.
It's not for you, the fan of the Los Angeles Lakers.
It's not for Bronny. It's not for Bronny. It's for LeBron.
Yeah.
It's. I mean,
like, he wrote this into existence 3 years ago.
It'd be one thing if there was like a whole oh man, here comes Bronny. He had his great season in college, and now he's going to the NBA, and it just fell his way. Like it's the coronation of Bronny. It's the handing off of the crown to Bronny. It's not that.
No,
it's not that. And I know that's a hard expectation to live up to, but like it just feels really, really forced. As somebody, I think, who said that? Sal said that on the YouTube. Feels very forced. So I didn't. It's cool, but I didn't get all emotional or anything like that. The father-son moments are awesome in sports.
I definitely thought it would hit a little harder. Like I was looking for the clip because I wasn't going to watch Wolves Lakers on night one.
Like the fan base of the Lakers they don't really care about LeBron James Jr. They don't really care about Bronny.
No, I've seen
so they're not, when they're cheering for him to come into the game. It's the fact that they're both into the game at the same time, not the debut of a young player who you believe in.
And I saw a bunch of Lakers fans on Twitter yesterday saying, like, look, is he taking away a roster spot from someone? Like, yeah, probably technically, but he's taking a roster spot away from someone who would never see the floor.
Right,
so,
right.
Like,
right. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
From that perspective, he's playing a small role in this thing.
LeBron has been a terrible GM for this team for years, and he will continue to do so this year.
You could have picked anybody to be in that spot. Obviously, if you got a chance to pick your son, then pick your son.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a cool thing for him.
Yeah. But you make a great point. Like it's not for us.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's not supposed to be for us. Maybe, like I said, I'm fine with the idea of the league, and its community saying, LeBron, you know what? You do you, man. This is your time. You want to ring hunt, ring chase, you go for it. You want to be the GM of your own team, you go for it. You're setting yourself up to be an owner of a team in a couple of years. Do your thing, man. You've done enough. You've done a lot for the game. But, yeah, it feels forced.
Hey, former podcast co-worker JJ Redick, will you play me and my son on the floor at the same time?
Yes, I will.
Please and thank you.
Yes, I will.
All right.
Come on my podcast. All right. Let's take a break. The 11 o'clock hour is coming up. Mitch Sherman will join us at about 11:25. Let's talk about the words that were said in Lincoln yesterday. When we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Couple comments as we
love
welcome
comments.
you back to the 11 o'clock hour, the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. I hope you're enjoying your Orange Crush. DG, by the way, writes in, do you remember Orange Slice? I remember Slice.
Oh yeah, that had a moment.
So what was Slice? I remember Slice.
It was a fruit soda.
But what has it now? What has it turned into?
I believe it's been discontinued.
It's just over.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had lemon lime slice.
I remember
orange
lemon lime slice
Yeah.
was a really nice alternative to Sprite. Slice. I liked Slice. I do remember. Thank you, DG. Hockey Dad.
Hi, Hockey Dad.
There was way too much NBA LeBron discussion. Let's talk about actual sports now.
Let's talk about
What's going on in the hockey?
Talk about the Frozen Frenzy last night. What an event for hockey. Can't believe they're only doing it one time this season.
What's the Frozen
Frenzy is when all 32 teams play on the same night, and again a new game starts every 15 minutes, and ESPN does whip around coverage around the whole league.
That's cool.
It was like NFL Red Zone but for hockey.
That's cool.
Night.
It
was pretty fun.
So you were locked into that?
I was locked into that during intermission of the Kraken game.
Okay.
Kraken fell 3-2 to the Avalanche.
Tough night. What about
tough night for the Crack Wagon?
What about the Devils?
You got to watch out for them Devils.
Watch out for them Devils.
They were obviously in action as all the teams played. They of course lost 8-5 to the Lightning. High scoring affair.
What about the Carolina Hurricanes?
I believe they won.
All right. What about
3-2 over the Oilers in overtime? Connor McDavid had 2 goals. I remember that part of it.
What about the Calgary Flames?
A former team of Connor Happer's.
Yeah.
They beat the Penguins in a shootout 4-3.
All right.
Take that, Omaha Penguins fan base.
Take that, Pittsburgh. You yins. One more. What about the Avs?
They beat the Kraken 3-2.
All right. That's good. Good hockey night.
Yeah.
Good hockey night. You like that? Me naming hockey teams and asking what they did last night?
I kind of do, actually.
All right, we can do that every day if you want to. Greg in Myrtle Beach checks in.
Hi, Greg.
Remember Greg?
Everybody loves Greg.
On over 40 years of scouting, Craig's been a lot of things. I've never seen a bigger fraud than Bronny James. There is literally not one team in the EuroLeague he could start for.
Ooh.
I love how opinion. Greg, send in your opinion for the opinion bag.
Yeah.
We need some of those.
I have an opinion.
I have an opinion.
And then you do the rest, Greg.
Yep. That's it. It's formulaic in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I have an opinion, and then say that opinion, and then do it however many times you'd like. We'd like to read some of those in the noon hour. Okay. I'm sure Greg has an opinion on yards per play gate from yesterday.
Many people do.
Many people do. I actually don't. Well, actually, here's my opinion. I don't really care. I'm not that fired up about this. So Nebraska's offensive coordinator was asked yesterday, hey, what's a good target for you for how many yards per play that you're aiming to have? And he said, I don't know, somewhere, it's a good question, somewhere in between 4 and 6, probably. His own team is at 5.5, which is not good. 4 is among the worst in the country.
Mm-hmm.
6 is still not very good. The best in the country is right around 8. So it's the not knowing part. I'm going to I am a person who gives people the benefit of the doubt. But I don't.
Kind soul.
I am a kind soul, but I don't really think that it's that in this scenario. I think he was talking about which we spoke about yesterday. I think Marcus Satterfield was saying, I'd like to get 4 yards a play.
Every play.
I'd like to get 4 yards every play.
Stay ahead of schedule.
I think this, honestly, I could, if I was a real spin zone person, I know people don't want to hear the spin zone this week, but if I was really going full spin zone on you, I would say that this staff is so focused on every play, maybe sometimes that it neglects the long term. And I think sometimes it does that. Like we talked about the sequential play calling on the offensive side of the ball and how it just doesn't match up a lot. Like I think there's so much focus on making that play work.
Okay.
And making getting the first down and all that stuff. Like I'm thinking about a play. Can I get 4 yards on a play? Not from the sense of if we run 600 plays over a whatever game stretch, can I average 4 yards? You should be, and you are. You're beating that by quite the margin right now. I think that's what he was talking about. Therefore, I am generally unbothered by yards per play gate. Josh, that is my opinion.
I believe that is a good opinion. I believe why this thing popped the way it did, in my opinion.
Opinion, boys.
You already generally have a negative opinion of this person.
Correct.
And
this week is a landmine week, Josh.
It humanizes your feelings of anger towards this football team. It funnels all of your anger toward a human target, which you did not have until this point. You had several different humans that you might target, but now that I can yell at that guy. I've been wanting to yell at someone about this team since Saturday, and now I can yell at this one person because we
love yelling at him in particular.
He gave a poor answer, and I already want to yell at that guy in particular.
Don't get me wrong. I do want to yell at him. I don't think that he's doing a very good job.
I would absolutely agree with that.
But
that is a great opinion.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm trying to look at everything objectively, right? One play at a time in that situation.
He gave a poor answer.
Yes.
But
I don't think that's what he was talking about, first of all. I think there was a it didn't connect in his head of what he was trying to say. So I'm unbothered. I'm unbothered by this. Josh, would you like to share what you asked a coach that you're familiar with yesterday?
I reached out and I said, just out of curiosity, do you know your yards per play off the top of your head? This coach did not. This coach is, I would say, successful.
Which coach does Josh know?
I don't know. I know many coaches. I know many. This phone, it could have been Frank Caliendo. You don't know. They said
that coach doesn't know.
He essentially, let me summarize the words that we shared together. I look so much deeper than yards per play. That's not really a stat that matters, because if I run a trick play that goes for 80 yards, that doesn't really count, does it?
Yeah.
No, I'm looking for what plays worked and what plays didn't. I'll throw out the ones that didn't, or maybe ask why they didn't work.
Yeah. So I know we got a whole bunch of stuff yesterday. The BA coaches show writes in again. He says, I'm just bothered by the fact that high school coaches know these stats, but the Nebraska OC doesn't. Like, first of all, I don't think that's how he was thinking about it. And second of all, it's possible that they look into, they have more defined stats that they care about and have targets toward than just, hey, what do you want to do in terms of yards per play? I am unbothered, but the big picture here is this is a landmine week.
Yeah.
This is a landmine week. The coaches have talked on whether it's Saturday after the game, Monday with Rule, yesterday with the coordinators. Nothing they could have said was going to make anyone happy outside of feeding them red meat and firing them. Firing people, and we got to fire people. We have to fire people. We have to fire. That's what people want. I don't think it does people any good to sit there and eat the raw meat for a little while just so Nebraska could go out and play Ohio State again, get beat, and then you want more people fired. By the end of the year, there's no staff left. They're all fired because they've all just fired each other. They've just eaten each other, right? It doesn't do anybody any good. So this is
might motivate the players a little more if they thought, oh my God, my coach is going to eat me if I don't get 6 yards per play.
This is a landmine week, and you don't want the coaches to be, when the coach shows up and he looks at it at a play-by-play basis, or looks at it from an analytical, point of view, or even an abstract point of view, and it lacks that real, the number knowledge that you want to hear displayed, you're mad. If the coach shows up and he's angry, you're mad. If one of the players shows up and he's angry, you say, wow, he's angry, but I've seen him angry before. I'm mad. I'm mad again. Mm-hmm. The coach gets up there on Monday and he's not that mad. He's not that mad. He's actually working through things, processing through things, and trying to explain things, and you guys don't want to hear it.
Audience did not like that.
Nobody
wanted Mad Matt.
Nobody wants to hear it. Mm-hmm. So, oh crap! I didn't upload my video. So I have a video from Tony White yesterday, and I think
have a video.
yeah, let's play that.
Again,
Hold
I'm
on.
not ready.
I know.
Connor.
I just had to put it in there, so it popped up. It popped up right away. Here's Tony White on watching the game film from last Saturday and what they saw.
Again, all around, right? I mean, the guys were executing, but schematically there are some things that I did not like that was completely stupid. And then there's just again the manner of which you do things, you know. And there's always calls that you want back and everything, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you instill that confidence and have the guys running around with their hair on fire. And I didn't do a good enough job of that last week. So
Why not, Tony? Why not?
I think he took the most ownership of the three big coaches we've heard from this week.
So,
Now,
Rule did.
Now, he didn't seem that bothered by it, but
yeah,
but
right. So, like, I haven't seen. I guess I don't know. Text in or tweet in or call in, whatever. Like, when you hear that from Tony White, what do you think? Are you mad at him, or are you like, you know what, I'm with this guy? And how much of your opinions on one guy versus the other guy comes from things that you have already predetermined, right? And that's okay. Like you can think that Marcus Satterfield, basically what I'm getting at is I think the fan base thinks Marcus Satterfield bad, Tony White good. So whatever they say, regardless of the answer, the result of that is going to be Marcus Satterfield bad, Tony White good. But when Nebraska loses 56-7, Tony White bad, Marcus Satterfield bad, really bad, and Matt Rule bad also. That's Landmine week. Yes. We have to get through Landmine week.
If our Twitter feed and our YouTube chat are any indication, which I'm actually not sure if they are or aren't, the tide is turning on Tony as well.
Yeah, I've sensed that. I've sensed that a little bit. I've sensed that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think Tony's pretty good. But yes, there were some mistakes made in that game. I think for the most part, he's taking responsibility for some horrible lack of execution by his players in the game, which is good. You got to get back to work and you got to fix it. Ultimately, it's his responsibility to put the players in the right position to do so. Also, I think he's right when he said we did some stuff that I don't know why they were doing. I don't know why we were doing this.
I didn't tell him to do that.
So they got to get back. This is both offensively and defensively, I think. They just got to get back to doing simple stuff. You know, defensively, I think, you know, Indiana can tie you in knots with their RPO game. And, you know, Nebraska, I think, has to understand, and especially I think it's a this season compared to last season thing. Last season, both of those coaches really had to scheme quite a bit. This year, they have experienced players, better players, you know, at least more knowledgeable players, right? I just think maybe it's a simple thing of this week, the coaches need to trust the players to do simple well. And if they can't get back to that, then you have to go backwards again. You have to go find out, all right,
who's putting the fun and fundamentals down the Lincoln?
What can we do? What actually can we do? But I think there's been a lot of, I think to a certain extent on both sides of the ball, this is probably an overgeneralization, but to a certain extent on both sides of the ball, it's been a little too hands-on from a coaching, play calling perspective. Like, let the guys go out and let them play and trust that. Now, I'm the first one who said on Saturday they couldn't execute the simple stuff. So maybe I'm wrong.
As Huskeretti is,
I just think they're doing a lot of stuff. That, you know what I mean? Like, just play football. They're just doing a lot of stuff. Stop doing all that stuff.
Yeah. Huskeretti.
Good segment by us.
All caps. We couldn't make Indiana punt.
Couldn't make Indiana punt. Yeah. They punted. Huskeretti. They punted, right? They punted later.
Sure.
They punted. So who's wrong now, Huskeretti?
I fast forward the punts when I rewatch.
You didn't
games.
watch that part?
I no. Couldn't tell you the last time I watched a kickoff in a football game.
You're not missing it. Well, You missed a good one on Saturday, Josh. Did you see what Ja'Cory Barney did?
Might have went back and watched.
Did you see that one?
I did.
Yeah. So
but I have forgotten about it.
I think that game on Saturday is as good of a reminder as any to just all right, let's get back to football. Let's get back to fundamentals. And I think if your response to that is, well, what the hell were we doing this whole time? Well, why were we doing all this other stuff that we don't need to be doing that is a fair question. That is a fair question. And some of it, comes back to how much you trust your team or how good of a pulse you have on your team and what do you think they can handle and, where he feels like the team is at from an emotional standpoint, he being the head coach, and I guess the coordinators as well. Like, what can they do? What can they handle? So I don't know. I kind of think there needs to be just more of from the coordinators. Let's just do what, hopefully we could do what we do well and we don't have to, worry about all this other stuff. At the same time, as far as running the ball is concerned, Nebraska, I think, has been, pretty simple in that regard, and they can't block it, right?
Right.
I think you're in a much tougher spot. This is why we've been talking about the offense all week. Nebraska's in a much tougher spot offensively than they are defensively. Defensively, I'm willing to say Saturday was a bit of a blip on the radar. I trust them more to execute simple than I do in the offense, because I think what they do is, in the simple side of the offense is actually quite hard for them because their personnel doesn't, they need to be better in some areas in order to do what they're actually doing. And I think Satterfield knows that. And then I think they throw it around a little bit too much. And then that doesn't work and it all crumbles in on itself, right?
Definitely.
So what's the answer on offense is a lot harder, I think, in my opinion, to what's the answer on defense.
Defenses do you.
Landmine week.
And the offense, I don't know.
Let's go to the text line, Josh. Here is Jason Siegel, mispronouncer.
Hello, Jason Siegel, mispronouncer.
I just still cannot believe this happened. It's insane how different all this feels right now. I feel like I know absolutely nothing about this team or this staff.
I kind of agree with that. Monday was hazy. Monday was foggy. I was like, oh my gosh, what do I know and what do I not know about this team?
Yeah. No, it's gotten worse since the start of the season. That's your main issue right there. That's one of the things that you could trust at the beginning of the year. Well, if there's one thing, they're going to get better as the season goes along, right? Freshman quarterback and this and this and that. So, yeah, it's hard to trust right now. I understand that. Chris Montana, are you worried about Dylon getting hurt? Well, I think Dylon is hurt. I think we need to say that probably. Yeah. Our dear young boy,
Dylon,
he's fighting it right now a little bit.
Seems to be gutting it out.
Yeah. So I don't know how severe that is or what that'll look like on Saturday, but his ankle's not treating him well. And I think that he could make more plays even with his current state. I think that he could make more throws in a quicker manner than he is currently doing.
Agree.
But I also think he could use some help.
Maybe
from a run game in particular.
Maybe the Heine wrinkle becomes a feature.
I like the Heine wrinkle. We need more Heine wrinkle.
Do you like the Heine wrinkle?
I like the Heine wrinkle.
Poll question.
You're gonna get some more Heine wrinkle going on. Greg in Myrtle Beach has an opinion.
Oh, hello, Greg.
On Marcus Satterfield. I have a strong opinion as a Coastal Carolina supporter. Soon to be canned Marcus Satterfield should not apply for the Chanticleer's vacant offensive coordinator position under Tim Beck. Our border is closed.
Greg, let me ask you this, since I know you're listening. Are you loving Clev Lubin? Are you loving Clev Lubin on that defense? Yeah, you're welcome.
Iowa Western honk.
You're welcome.
Honk.
That guy's great.
So Michael had an opinion that we could say for the opinion bag. Texter is calling Tony White baloney white.
Oh,
Also, Marcus. I don't think I want to even. No, I'm not.
no, can't say it on the
I
radio.
can say it. It just
Okay.
Marcus Buttholer Field. That doesn't. That's not even funny.
Normally, when a joke like that is presented in front of me, I would say that's a stretch. I will not be saying that in this instance. Won't be saying it.
Baloney White. If you're going to go with a disparaging nickname, Baloney White is funnier.
That's yeah.
I'll give you that.
That's better.
All right. We'll have more thoughts on this as we go on throughout the show, and more with Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. He joins us on the other side of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
He can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royal. Let me live that fantasy.
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic. On The Connor Happer Show. On 1620, The Zone.
He can play.
All right. We're joined now on the 42 Degrees to Source hotline by Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Connor. I'm well. How are you?
Good. Have you avoided Landmine Week?
Knock on wood, I think so. I'm kind of staying away from my social media mentions because
good idea.
Maybe there's been some landmines out there, and if I can ignore them, they'll potentially go away. It is like walking around through, I guess, a minefield, for lack of a more original way to describe that in response to your question. But they're people are on edge, I guess, is the best way to describe it.
What do you think the biggest thing is? Like, is it from the fan base? I guess if we're to diagnose this, is it the uncertainty that that one game has caused, like, generally about the program? Like, because we talked about it in the post show on Saturday, Sunday, like, you question everything, and I agree with that sentiment, and I think that's basically maybe where we still are, considering that Nebraska still hasn't played a game since Saturday yet.
Yeah, that was kind of my number one takeaway from Saturday, or my number one observation, message for people, from what I thought walking out of Memorial Stadium in Bloomington was, okay, now you can just wonder about everything with Nebraska football, question it all. And as the week goes on and we move toward Ohio State, I'm writing this for Thursday on The Athletic, is kind of at the core of all of this anxiety and many of the conversations around Nebraska football is one question, and that is, was this an anomaly? So was this just the symptoms, or was this just the result of the symptoms that exist around Nebraska football, or was this game a one-off? And the players and coaches were fairly adamant that it's an anomaly, and you're not going to see this again, this level of play. But I think the fans are really wondering at this moment.
Another part of this conversation that I think has been sort of in the background this week is looking around at some of the other Big Ten programs who have gotten their aircrafts off the ground with relative ease, and it just feels like it's such a struggle for Nebraska all the time. Getting almost to this point a lot where it feels like, oh man, it's about to take off, and then all of a sudden there's some real technical problems right before you lift that thing off. Illinois, doing what they have done so far this year and then beating Michigan at home. Obviously Indiana, who's the most comparable because you just played them this past week. I don't feel like that's probably helped the coaches' cause this week either.
Oh, absolutely. The fact that this came at the hands of an Indiana team that's just flying high, they're off the ground and at cruising altitude at this point. It's like Nebraska's operating a much heavier aircraft than Illinois and Indiana, and it is in some ways more difficult to get off the ground. And I think there's some reality to that. But they've also got like a stronger engine to just continue with this airplane.
I like this
analogy.
Yeah.
Like Nebraska's there's a bigger engine. So I don't know, Connor. Like is the Indiana is it for real, like what they're doing. It's definitely for real this season. I think the question is it for real long term? Like what happens next year at Indiana when the transfers who came in, many of them are gone and they have to flip it again. It should be easier for Kurt Stignetti the second time.
Yeah, once you're in the air, you're in the air, right?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, sometimes this stuff you can find a quick fix, but it only gets you one season. And I don't know if that's what we're looking at with Indiana. I think Indiana looks pretty stable. Like I think Indiana has a system in place and an identity and an understanding of how it wants to play. And I'm not saying that the Hoosiers are going to become a force to be reckoned with nationally for the next 5 years, but it doesn't necessarily. Colorado last year when the Buffs were doing well, it looked like a quick fix that didn't have staying power.
Yeah.
And it was that turned out to be the case in 2023, although they're doing all right this year. Indiana to me looks like something a little bit more stable. And we'll find out. But to answer your question, yeah, it undeniably it makes things more difficult on Nebraska when the programs around it, the teams that it's playing, are able to take off more easily, more quickly.
Where does Nebraska go from what we saw on Saturday offensively, and not even in the Ohio State game, just more of kind of in general? Like what do you think success sort of looks like for them? Coming up this weekend.
I have no idea this weekend. I have no idea where Nebraska is going to go with its game plan. On the outside, it just looks like there aren't any doors to open. And I'm sure they're working on some stuff, and I wonder if they're going to try to minimize things. I don't think they'll go into a shell offensively. It just doesn't fit the MO, I think, of everything that Matt Rule is preaching about this program. I mean, if they come out and run it 80% of the time and they're not getting first downs and just trying to play keep away and run the clock all the way down, that to me doesn't accomplish a whole lot of anything other than maybe keep a couple touchdowns off the board from Ohio State. They have to at least come out at the beginning and try to play their game. Or, they say it. It doesn't. That the opponent, obviously, the opponent matters. But for Nebraska, their goals are inwardly focused, and I think they have to try to play that way at least at the beginning. I don't think it's going to get the results that they want, and I think coming out of this game, they're going to have to go through basically a complete reset. And then and turn that around in 7 days and come home and start November, which then becomes a crucial month for progress under Matt Rule coming out of year 2. I mean, it's huge. November has to look a lot different than what we've seen here recently. But where do they go when they get to UCLA on offense? It's got to involve some run. They got to run for 100 yards or more a game. I think that's a place to start.
Yeah. I mean, my follow-up to your answer there is, okay, so you got to play their game. What's their game? What is it? Do we, identity is a word that is now cropped up a lot this week. It's a word that we've used a lot in the past, but it's back. And it wasn't just the fact that everything went wrong and they couldn't execute it on Saturday. This has been sort of bubbling for a few weeks now. What is Nebraska's game on offense?
They haven't established that this year. No. It has to be against Ohio State, and it has to be in the last month of the year to establish something in the run so that you can operate how you want down the field and in the pass game and be able to complete the short passes and have some room there because your opponent respects the run. It's hard to imagine Nebraska being able to come out on Saturday in Columbus against that defense and having success establishing the run. So that's where I think it hits a wall early. You can't go into that and just say, okay, we're going to set up the run with the pass and Because if they don't have to, if Ohio State doesn't have to respect the run and they can push their safeties and a linebacker even back away from the line of scrimmage to help out with the intermediate pass game and the deep pass game, like Nebraska just doesn't have Nebraska has the athletes against a lot of teams on its schedule to be able to complete passes just because of matchups. We haven't seen it lately, but I do think the athletes are there. This is not clearly this is not one of those games.
Wow. How much do you think Dylan Raiola's health is should be a conversation or is responsible for because I don't know that he was great going into last week, and then obviously there was whatever happened during the game and he continued to kind of battle it out. It's probably an underrated, I guess, aspect of this week that we haven't talked about much. I mean, there's some injury there. Like how much of it that was Saturday and how much of that will be this Saturday?
Well, it's not like even early in the season when Dylan looked very efficient. It's not like a ton of it had to do with his mobility. Yeah, right. He was generally able to evade a rusher. If there was one guy coming at him, he did a pretty good job of sidestepping that defender and being able to stay on balance and make a throw. So we may be underrating that because he's not been as good at that part as Nebraska's gotten deeper into the Big Ten. I think it's a factor, but it would of course be a bigger factor if this team relied on him to get first downs, even to pick up 5 yards on a 3rd and 4 when the pocket broke down. That's not really what their style is. So yeah, it can be a factor because they do need him to be able to be a little bit elusive back there, but it's not an injury or an issue that directly involves his arm. If he can't plant and put weight on an ankle and it's causing him to lose some strength with his arm, then I think that becomes a bigger thing. But that's not really what I've seen other than maybe 1 or 2 throws.
Right. Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. All right, Mitch, we will let you go. Certainly interesting one coming up. By the way, quickly on that game, because we haven't talked about it all this week. Do you know what to expect? Do you have an idea of what to expect? Do you have like a prediction on your mind at all of what Nebraska might put out on Saturday?
I think the effort's going to be there. I think they're going to come out. I think so too. They're going to feel energized. I don't think you're going to see a team that sleepwalks into Columbus and has its head down. But I also think they're just running into a buzzsaw. Like this is maybe the most talented team in the country.
Yeah. So it's tough to know what the math will look like on that one. All right, we'll let you go, Mitch. Appreciate you taking the time as always, my friend. Talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Connor.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic, also of the Locked On Nebraska podcast.
A very good podcast.
People are saying that. Hurtin' Husker fan writes in.
Hi, Hurtin' Husker fan.
Says, does anyone ever notice that we never hear about these injuries until well after our quarterbacks have played like dog poo? The tin hat side of me wonders sometimes if that's not an easy excuse when things go bad. Okay, well, I'm not going off of anything else that you guys haven't seen. You guys watched the game on Saturday, right? He was hurt.
Yeah.
He was hurt.
He was hobbled.
And he was
hobbling.
He was hobbled in previous games as well. Mm-hmm. And that hasn't always looked like the cleanest thing. Probably, I don't know what game it was. Maybe Purdue, right? Where kind of it felt like there was a moment maybe in that Purdue game where just, and then I kind of chalked it up to, oh, well, he's he acts like Mahomes, and he kind of just hobbles around a little bit. Mahomes does that thing, and it was doing something to him. But he got hurt in that game. He got hurt in the Indiana game. People saw that, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So I don't think that's that's what I'm saying is that's not like a media narrative that is made up only to give him an excuse. It's like I think that's a factor. Along with that, so if we're saying that Dylan Raiola hasn't played well, which he hasn't, we have to throw in the factor, the affecting factor of he is hobbled at the moment. I think it has affected his footwork.
this isn't a how come you didn't tell us Scott Frost was a bad man before.
No, this is not that. This is not that.
We're letting you know.
You can see it. You can see it. You couldn't see the things that Scott Frost was doing when he wasn't at practice or whatever. You can see this. This is all happening during the game. All right, we'll be back. It's time for the odd news. Josh has it next on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, so now I started to get this a lot. I want to get to a phone call in a second, by the way. We'll get to the Josh, give me 3-4 minutes.
Take your time. I'm here till 2.
I appreciate you, Josh. Michael writes in, he says, serious question, Connor. What's your thought on benching Dylon in the Indiana game and letting Harburg have the reins? It looked like Indiana did not prepare to stop and defend the option against us. Heinrich led the team on Saturday with 32 yards on 5 carries. We have 0 ground game, but when he came in the game, ripped off some 8 or 9 yard runs and then immediately to the bench. Why do they do that? Why not stick with it and say, hey, can they stop this? Well, all right. So context is important once again. The game is out of control, right? That's always a factor. Should Nebraska use Heinrich Harburg and Heinrich Harburg related sets to try to establish a run game? Should they use them more than they currently do? Yes. Should they probably had just given him the reins earlier on Saturday? Probably yes. But I also want people to keep this in mind. They're trying to do stuff. They're like, this is going to come off really bad. Not everything is about winning the game that you're in. Nebraska has to show people that they can do stuff, that they can execute stuff, and they have
put stuff on tape.
They have an offense that hasn't done anything, right? Right? So, like, they have to do stuff.
Yeah, the audience is going to hate that.
I know.
Yeah.
3 yards of play. That's what I want.
Every play.
I know, but keep that in mind as well, especially in a game where it's out of control. All right, quick phone call here from Tony on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Hey, Tony, thanks for holding. What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking the call. By the way, the Locked On podcast you guys do is money. I love it.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that.
Good stuff.
Connor would agree.
Episode. I want to ask a real quick question, real quick answer, and then I'll ask my next one. What is our record for the remainder of the year?
I think that Nebraska will win 2 more football games.
Okay.
2 and 3.
2 to 3. Okay. Second question. If we were to go 0 for the next last game, how hot would rules seat be?
If they did not win a game the rest of the year, that's what you're saying?
Let's just say we don't win a game the rest of the year, which is a possibility.
Sure it is.
It happened last year. We all predicted they'd win at least one more game and go to a bowl game, so it's not out of the possibility. If that happens, how hot is Rule's seat, and then what would be the over-under total for him before I think the third year he would be fired?
Okay.
Last question.
Okay.
Should Nebraska fans maybe pull back the reins a little bit on the money we shell at the program until we get more productivity? Because here's the thing. If you look at the Husker fans as the parents of the program, if you have a child that is misbehaving, yet you still keep buying them cars, you still keep giving them money to spend, and you still keep giving them everything they want and saying that now this is the last time I do this, now you got to behave, and then they just go around and keep doing it. Is there a point at which maybe Nebraska fans are the problem with the program because they're not maybe saying, hey, before we give more, we have to have some results? I'll hang up. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. All right, so I get the thought process. Let me just say first that I understand the thought process. All right, but you just it's a competitive world. You can't give up the one thing that makes Nebraska it gives them their support gives them a seat at the table.
Someone's going to give that guy that thing he's asking for.
It's an athletic department that is flush with cash and can do whatever it pleases. And you can't get rid of that. You can't throw as much as I love the idea of I'm not going to do anything. We're not going to fund this program until it does something. I like that idea. I like holding things accountable. That makes sense. It's just not feasible. It's not really how it works. Sadly, they have to figure it out with support, with the scrutiny, with all that stuff. If they go 0-5 the rest of the year, Tony, Nebraska will finish 5-7 yet again after starting 5-1. That would be a very, very hard pill to swallow. Matt Rule's seat would be very hot going into next year. Yes, he'd have to win. He would have to win.
A lot of people saying, yeah, if they don't win another game this season, I'll turn in my tickets and I'll vote with my wallet that way, and I'll withhold from the university. There's a whole another line of people behind you waiting for those tickets.
Yeah, they'll jump in.
They're fine.
They'll jump in for sure,
and they'll have to pay a higher cost than you do for those tickets.
Yeah, it's not a feasible thing for college football. In the real world, all right, you got a kid, and I'm the dad, and I make $1 million a year, and the kid
make $1 million.
I make $1 million a year, and the kid has a great life, and the kid starts acting out, and the kid starts telling people, well, my daddy's richer than your daddy, and I want to cut that kid off really bad, and I do, but that's just not a real That's not a applicable situation to college football, in my opinion.
We need to have a budget meeting.
All right, we have to quickly do the odd. Josh, you have 5 minutes to give me the odd news.
Rex Ryan.
Yep.
This guy.
Yep.
Where was this? I don't even remember this.
Foot
He appeared
stuff.
he appeared on the Pivot this week. I don't know what the Pivot is.
I think it's an ESPN show.
Okay. Well, he appeared on that show. It makes sense. He's an ESPN personality. Those big chompers of his. He appeared on the Pivot this week where the topic of his foot fetish was broached. Quote, I love my wife's feet. I don't know what it is, but if a chick's got jacked up feet, I'm out.
Here's the deal. When they keep asking him about this, he's not going to stop talking about it. He will answer. He doesn't care.
He continued, Connor. I don't care how gorgeous. I'm out. I don't know what the hell it is. Some people are boob guys, leg guys. Of course, I notice a pretty gorgeous face, whatever, but I'm checking the feet out.
Yeah.
Ryan added that he thought his wife was, quote, gonna frickin' kill me when the video went viral, but was shocked to find out many of his Jets players admitted they felt the same.
Yeah.
Quote,
Wait, what?
Now I have fun with it, and it's like, yeah, that's me. That's who I am. I own that bleep, he added. And if a chick's got great feet, I'm looking.
All right. Thank you, Rex. Appreciate your opinion on the matter.
In other Jets news, Aaron Rodgers appeared on Pat McAfee this week, as he usually does, after saying he would never again, because he's very consistent, that Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
He addressed Boogergate directly. He said, I did not, nor have I ever eaten my boogers. In the moment, I was thinking, man, I hope the camera's not on me right now.
I will say that he does seem too elitist to be a booger eater.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, he is asking ESPN, and I believe this to be tongue-in-cheek, but in the written word, it doesn't necessarily come off that way. For ESPN to release a side-angle camera shot that they might have to show everyone that he did not, in fact, eat that booger. And finally, a story that Connor brought to me before the show today. You remember Man vs. Food and their host, Adam Richman?
Man versus food. Man versus food.
He'd go,
I am a hungry dude.
Was that the theme song?
That was I think that was at one point the theme song. Yeah.
He went to Bellevue and ate the Stellanator or whatever.
He did.
And the entire crew of season 2 of Adam Richman Eats Britain, which is apparently his new project, has just been robbed. He took to X to tell everyone that they were driving from Birmingham to London, stopped at a rest stop for exactly 4.5 minutes. No idea how he knew how long they were stopped, but whatever.
Exactly 4.5, though.
To use the restroom, came back and their van was completely cleaned out. All of the filming equipment gone, both of his suitcase, all of his possessions. That's right. All of his possessions are gone. His laptop bag, medications, gone. And to make matters worse, because he has, what's it, eye tag? Or whatever.
he's got the air tags.
Yeah, the air tags.
Yeah.
He can tell where all of his stuff is.
See, that actually might be the worst part.
Right. It's laughing at you.
Right. You're just watching these things get dispersed throughout the town that you're foreign to. You have no idea what to do about it other than, like, it does give you more hope that you can find and recover the devices and get the people who stole them from you. But you're watching it in real time being dispersed throughout London. It just hurts and you can't do anything about it. Tough day for Adam Richman. I always liked that show, by the way. And then he got too fat and they were worried about him having a heart attack and they quit.
And now he's like,
and now he's back, I think.
Now he's skinny, but like giant head still.
Yeah.
Doesn't look right.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
Great job.
How'd we do?
Good speed round.
Okay.
We got it in plenty of time.
I'm gassed.
That is the odd news. Coming up next, it's the world famous I have an opinion. Send in your opinions, but say I have an opinion first, and that's how you will get it read on the air. Hopefully you're not like Rex Ryan and have weird opinions about feet.
But if you do, please send those to us.
We'll probably read them. We'll be back with that on the other side. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
This is the I Have an Opinion intro. Haven't made one yet. Need to get on that. Connor?
Really? Well, why don't you sing it again?
Freeform jazz in it.
I want to play that. Hit the play button on that one again.
I didn't know it stopped.
No. It's I just want to hear the vocals.
Oh, just dry vocals?
Yeah.
This is the I Have an Opinion song. Haven't done an intro yet. Need to get on that. Yeah.
All right. Welcome in. It's I Have an Opinion. It's the game that's sweeping the nation. I'll say this. If you have an opinion that we deem to be funny, good, interesting, really there's no parameters on it whatsoever. But if we like your opinion, we might send you Kraton basketball tickets. And then you might say, I hate Kraton, GBR. And then we'll say too bad.
We'll say we have some concert tickets for you, and you'll say when, and we'll say the date of the UCLA game, and you'll say I don't want those.
Huskers.
You can see the bind we're in.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to help you. But if not, we can only do so much. All right, opinions are flowing, it appears, Josh. I have several on the text line that we could get to. I know you have one on an email from earlier. They're coming in hot, of course, on the YouTube as always.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get to some of these YouTube ones because
they go fast.
Yeah, they go fast, and then you lose them. Hurting Husker fan will kick us off today.
Okay.
I have an opinion. We suck. This is the rebuild that never ends and seems more like someone salvaging wood from an old farmhouse. A slow deconstruction more than a rebuild. You guys remember the off season, right? That was fun. That was fun, right?
The rebuild. So you're saying that the opinion here is that this rebuild will never end. It will never end. It will just get. But he's saying they're deconstructing it while they're so. In this specific rebuild, they're actually trying to build, but they're actually unbuilding. Is that what the opinion was?
I think so, which really just makes me think of like the constant circular never-ending rebuild of Memorial Stadium, where it's like, okay, by the time we've done a full lap, it's time to do another lap.
Yeah.
Wow, I've never really put two and two together like that before.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically the stadium, right?
Yeah.
Let's redo South Stadium for the first time in. Well, South Stadium, this is the first time anything's ever happened to South Stadium when they do that. But, they'll put a scoreboard up there. They'll make it nice. And then there's like, oh man, North Stadium hasn't been redone since like the early 2000s. We better go over there. Okay. All right. Up East Stadium, the 600 level. It's not tall enough. Make it taller. West Stadium, new press box. All of these have been done within the last 20 years. It's just like 30 years. It's just an endless cycle. So I could see how you would feel that way.
Yeah.
But
we're down bad right now, fam.
Yeah. People are down. People are down bad. That's for sure.
Sal has an opinion.
All right, Sal.
I have an opinion.
All right, Sal.
Too often, recruiting analysts compare an athlete to Deebo Samuel, when in fact, they're nothing like him. No one is. Jay Bonner and Jay Doss were both compared to having that skill set.
What's the opinion? Nobody's like Deebo Samuel?
Yeah, recruiting analysts always say, oh, this is a Deebo Samuel type. And in fact, he's not.
Good take.
Yeah.
Good take. Mm-hmm. Remember when Nebraska's new staff was here and who was the guy they were trying to make everybody into? Oh, yeah. Shaquem Griffin.
Yes.
Everybody was going to be Shaquem Griffin. Uh-huh. Everybody was going to be that guy. And then the other one, they had the Duck R guy, the little guy. Everybody was going to be that guy, because everybody had watched them. Every quarterback they had, that guy is going to be Mackenzie Milton.
Star Wars Fiend has an opinion.
All right.
I have an opinion. Arby's at 11 a.m. during a weekday is just an extension of an old folks' home. The olds love Arby's for some reason.
They do. They go in there and chill, huh?
Yeah. Maybe that's cool, there's man. No kids there. Like
Arby's doesn't have a play place.
I don't know kids that are like, Dad, take me to Arby's.
They should though.
Yeah.
Kids should be like curly fries. Hell yeah.
Arby's kind of slaps.
Arby's is fire.
Yeah.
Arby's is fire. Get that mozzarella stick,
Mm-hmm.
the 4-piece on the side.
Yeah.
Get that RB, that roast beef. Throw a little sauce on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Bang, bang, bang.
You go horsey or barbecue? You seem like a barbecue guy.
No. Arby's.
Okay.
Arby's sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I also tried their gyro once. I enjoyed it in the moment.
Yes.
I'll say that. I enjoyed it in the moment. Did not enjoy it later. Enjoyed it in the moment.
YouTube user says, I have an opinion. Josh's take me out to the ball game and video of puking in the trash can need to somehow be incorporated into the show on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Wow.
One
of those is bad audio. The other's no audio.
Josh's puke of the day. Yeah, maybe, if we were to make like a new show open or something like that, it's some highlights of the past.
Yeah.
I would say Josh saying take me out to the ball game off tune and behind schedule is a moment in the show's history.
Definitely.
For sure.
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Josh's puke of the day brought to you by
Pepto-Bismol.
There you go. Arby's.
Tums, yeah. BA Coach's show.
Hi, BA.
I have an opinion. Even if Nebraska scores 40 plus in the last 4 games, not this weekend, that fans are probably still done with Sadie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fans are definitely done with Sadie. Well, if they score 40 points in each of the last 4 games, they might not be done with Sadie anymore, though. That might actually do it. That might win them back. 40 points in each of the last 4 games. I mean, that is
that'd likely be 4 wins.
Yeah, they're going to win all 4 of those games. That'd be cooking. Yeah, you might be voting for him for the Broyles Award if they do that. But I agree with the general sentiment, which is people are definitely over that guy right now. Tough time to be Marcus.
Former host of Big Red Overreaction, Austin Jacobson.
Former? You mean
future as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I have an opinion. The hottest takes on Nebraska football come from the smallest towns in the state at a Casey's gas station, not the Connor Happer Show.
So I always look forward to the time when I see my family in central Nebraska around the holidays. Usually I see them for Thanksgiving, right? And the conversation topic is just like it is in any other person's house in the state of Nebraska. First of all, do you think they'll win tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
They're playing Iowa. Do you think they'll win tomorrow? And then it becomes a conversation about the entire program. And yes, there are some very interesting opinions that come out of that. Those parts.
I could see it.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I would imagine that the hot takes are flying at Casey's in smaller towns in Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it now. I can imagine it. Definitely hotter than on this show. We like to keep it pretty room temp here.
Safe.
Cold cuts, hot takes.
Mm-hmm. But safe, not like
not we're boring.
Right.
We're kind of boring.
I'll say some stuff every now and then.
Yeah. You will.
Kip in the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hello, Kip in the box.
It is my opinion that Reese's peanut butter cups are not good. The peanut butter tastes like it has sawdust mixed into it. Peanut butter M&Ms are far superior and taste like real peanut butter. That is a hot take.
That is as bad as it gets, Kip. One of the worst things I've ever heard. We had a guy call in earlier and said that we should defund the program. That's worse. Reese's peanut butter M&Ms better than Reese's peanut butter cups? That's nuts. Think about that, Josh.
Yeah.
Think about that. That is nuts.
That's insane.
What kind of peanut butter cups are you eating? They taste, what do you say? They taste like feathers?
Sawdust.
Sawdust?
Charles, I have an opinion.
That's nuts.
Kip is a monster.
That is nuts.
BA Coach's Show agrees. Peanut butter cups are trash, he says.
Peanut butter cups are not trash.
Wow.
Peanut butter cups are the only palatable chocolate candy that exists on planet Earth.
Whoa.
How about that?
That's
Bet you didn't see that one coming.
No.
Yeah, Kip baited me into that one.
As a fat man who doesn't have time to.
Chocolate candy is bad generally. If you throw in the Reese's peanut butter cup, it saves the whole species of candy. And candy is better than chocolate candy. Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, like candy, Twizzlers.
Okay.
That's candy.
I don't know that I agree.
Sour
but
gummy worms.
I understand that.
That's
take.
candy.
Okay.
That's candy. Suckers, blow pops. Those are candy, not chocolate.
Brian has an opinion.
Hi, Brian.
I have an opinion. I was right to ignore Connor when he told me to untether myself.
Good opinion.
Yeah.
You're gonna wish you had that tether you didn't have that tether when Nebraska beats Ohio State this weekend.
Shocks the world.
I'll tell you that.
And Gus Johnson pretends like he knew it was coming.
Hey,
all along.
Nick says, I have an opinion. Connor's taking the Arby's 4-piece mozzarella sticks on the side as his best take of October. Put it in the best takes of October list.
Best take of the month.
Yeah. All right. Should I go to the text line here?
Yeah.
I got a bunch of emails too. Wow, you guys are good at this game. I really like the I have an opinion segment.
Let me slide one in here from Dave.
Go.
Because we have to talk about Husker football every 30 seconds or they take our funding away. Dave says, I have an opinion. The people most upset with Nebraska's loss are those who talk themselves into the Huskers going 9-3 or better. Those of us with realistic expectations are not hitting the panic button.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Like they're 5-2. But on the other side, I don't want to say that loss shouldn't affect how you feel about the program. Like it was a foundation shaking loss.
I am definitely questioning
I
everything.
thought Nebraska was beyond that. At the same time, they are 5-2 and they'll probably go 7-5. They might go 8-4. And they're probably still going to go to a bowl as well. Unless you want to see Josh Peterson eat a tomato with a MAGA hat on, which I kind of do.
See, I win either way.
All right, CJ, I have an opinion. I think the Huskers should double down and wear surrender whites again on Saturday. Cue up the Vince McMahon theme song, No Chance in Hell.
That's what you got.
Thoughts, Josh? You're into that?
I would not. I am into nothing that is
no,
associated
are you
with
into
Vince McMahon.
Back-to-back surrender whites.
Oh, I think it would be hilarious, but I don't
People
see
would
it
not
coming.
enjoy it.
I don't see it coming. No.
Here's Jason Siegel, mispronouncer.
Hi, Jason Siegel, mispronouncer.
I have an opinion. Mobile ordering is tearing apart the fabric of our society.
Wait, is this Gary Sharp's burner?
Nothing worse than going into a fast casual place and being the only person in line while the staff ignores you, making orders for a bunch of entitled Neanderthals crowding the payment stand on their phones looking annoyed. Have we received that exact text before?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. It's a good opinion.
Yeah.
But you can't fool me on that one. Jason Siegel, mispronouncer. Good opinion. Good opinion. Yes, tearing apart the fabric of society. Chris in South Carolina.
Hi, Chris.
I have an opinion. Marcus Satternuts is far worse as a coordinator than crazy Bobby Diaco.
Maybe during the bye week.
We got to tone that one down.
We can
really dial in on the Satterfield nicknames.
Really tinker with it when we have a little more time. Because we're not there yet. We're not finding it. These aren't it, fam.
Heath.
Hi, Heath.
I have an opinion. This will be the most watched World Series of all time globally. I also hope both teams somehow lose. Big Meteor World Series.
Big Meteor. It is a Big Meteor World Series. It's also a World Series I'm kind of excited to watch because there's so much star power.
It's going to be a good World Series.
And then there's people in our chat. I think it was Heath.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
That are like, nobody cares about LA and New York. This is flyover country. We love our flyover country. And then,
who said who? Yes, do the opinion.
And then Heath said, I'd rather watch Rays Rockies.
No, you wouldn't. That's absurd.
BS.
That's absurd. You would not. You're actually going to watch the World Series, or you have an opinion on the World Series for the first time in multiple decades. And yeah, like the World Series is relevant.
Shohei Ohtani and the New York Yankees being in the World Series is good for the sport.
I'll admit that I don't like being inundated with all the LA, New York stuff. Like I'm over it, but come on. It's good. It's good theater.
This just in from Fox, 56 hours away, Shohei Ohtani.
Thank you. Text to the 308. I have an opinion. After an eye bleed game like that, the least they could do is treat us all to a free slice of Valentino's pizza. Hashtag Big Red Pizza Party.
That's a good opinion.
Poll question.
Oh.
When Nebraska loses by, well, let's suss this out. So, like, if they lose by 5 touchdowns or more, if they lose by 30 points or more, should everybody in the state get a free slice of Valentino's pizza the next day?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. 30 points or 40 points? Hashtag Big Red Pizza Party.
I mean, just for the business model, probably 40, right?
40 points. Okay.
Let's take it a free slice of Valentino's pizza the next day.
Hashtag Big Red Pizza Party. Okay, put that in there.
I misconstrued Heath's point, so I'd like to clarify.
Go ahead.
I don't want anybody besmirching Heath's good name. He said he would watch the World Series no matter what.
There you go.
So, okay, that made sense. And other people are saying, I don't mind the Dodgers or the Yankees being in the World Series. I just wish there was an underdog to root for, which is perfectly
fine.
That makes sense. Yes.
Here's Mark.
Hi, Mark.
I have an opinion. Omaha is sorely lacking in quality 24-hour diner options.
Definitely.
Good take.
They all went away. I don't think the IHOPs or the Perkins or the places like that are open.
Omaha's not an
24 hours
interstate town anymore.
Yeah. Leo's closed a while back.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that was open 24 hours, but it was a great diner.
Just a diner. Yeah, we only have, there's probably not that many places that are open 24 hours, period.
The grocery stores aren't, the Walmarts aren't open 24 hours anymore.
That's
if
tough
your
thing.
kid gets sick in the middle of the night, you're screwed until morning.
Yeah.
Connor, this cold and flu season,
Yikes.
stock up ahead of time.
So if you're telling me, like, if I needed to go eat something, I'd have to probably go to the interstate and drive west to a truck stop somewhere.
Yeah.
Go to that QT at Highway 370 or something like that.
Or Abelardo's. I know you're.
Oh,
okay with
hello.
Abelardo's.
I sure am. John.
Hi, John.
I have another opinion.
That's okay.
I don't care if Nebraska scores 40 points per game in the last 4 games. That moron Satterfield needs to go. That guy is taking it on the chin. Corey.
You're going to throw bricks through that guy's windows.
Connor's chocolate opinion should be canceled. Snickers greater than everything.
Snickers bar is pretty good.
Snickers are fine. I'll admit that is a palatable chocolate candy bar.
Okay.
But made better by the fact that it has other stuff in it and it isn't just chocolate.
Okay.
Also, the Snickers ice cream bars are the goat.
Oh, yes. Amazing take by you.
Venmo Chris, I have an opinion.
Hi, Venmo Chris.
I used to respect Connor until I heard that chocolate take. Also, this season makes me want to kill myself.
No, don't do that.
It's awful, and I'm sad.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, don't do that, please. Don't do that. Can't have that happen on our watch. Chris, I have an opinion. People over the age of 12 that like boneless wings more than regular wings were not hugged enough as a child.
Well, there's definitely something wrong with them. On that, we can't agree. I don't know the root cause of liking boneless wings as an adult, but
I have an opinion from the 402. Baseball needs to be canceled due to this horrible World Series.
Guys,
disagree.
It's going to be great theater.
Jake, I have an opinion. This is an all-timer of a GIF, and it's a GIF of John Bishop courtside having a freak out after looks like maybe Trey Alexander does something. Like Joey Gardner, the guy next to him, kind of looks at John. It's like, oh God. Imagine sitting next to John and you weren't like plugged into his audio. It's just like, this guy's just losing it. Why is his face so red? One of my favorite parts of basketball season is just looking for John and seeing how red his face is.
Yeah.
At the basketball game.
It's the same as his hair.
Let's see. I have an opinion from Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Grocery store needs to go back to stocking overnight and have baggers.
Great take. Great
They
take.
are in the way.
I am tired of not being able to navigate the grocery store at like 4 p.m. Like that's, everyone's getting off work and going to the store and picking up something for dinner that night. And there's just pallets of stuff strewn about all willy-nilly. That's a liability legally.
I have an opinion from the 712.
Hi, 712. Love you, CB.
All the 24-hour diners closed because nobody wants to be murdered in Omaha. # murder town. Is this true? Is this why they closed?
I can't say that's not part of it. But it would be nice to have the option. It'd be nice to say, do I want to roll the dice? Yes, I'll roll the dice.
One more from Jason Siegel, mispronouncer.
Hi, Jason Siegel, mispronouncer, JSM.
I have an opinion. I think Connor agrees. I despise the saying, it's the hope that kills you. What's going to happen is going to happen. If I spent the week thinking Indiana was going to smash our faces in, I'd been sad all week, but I wasn't. I was excited. I was going to be sad after that result, no matter what. Why ruin my time before the game as well?
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely don't want the coach to be like, I thought we were going to get our faces beat in that game.
Yeah, if Matt Rule stepped up there Monday and go, I expected this.
God, I got a bunch of emails too. Let's see if we can rip through all these in like 5 minutes.
Let me do one from Asian Joe here, and then the floor is yours. Okay. I have an opinion. Valas needs an adults only night where we can just drink and enjoy the space without a bunch of kids.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
There's kind of areas where that happens though. It's a big place. It's a big place.
Very big. Getting bigger every year.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
I have an opinion. This is the greatest sports radio show in the history of sports radio shows. Also, yes, this is a blatant attempt to get free stuff.
Oh, man.
That's all right.
I thought people liked this.
We appreciate the blatancy. Let's see. I have an opinion.
Oh, here's a good one from Joel on Twitter. I have an opinion. John Bishop and Kent Pavelka should call the Nebraska Creighton game together. It would be the most entertaining event in radio history.
No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't.
It's a simulcast feed.
No. Oh, God.
That would be fun.
They already sit next to each other. That's good enough. Okay. That's enough.
I need somebody in the front row. Point and shoot your phone. Just live stream that.
So last year on TV, it was Kevin and Nick who did the game on TV, right? I think it was Kevin and Nick.
Yeah.
And so it was John, Kevin, Nick, Kent, Jake, all on one table.
Incredible.
Like, what could Kevin Kugler and Nick Baugh have been thinking in that moment, being surrounded by two wild human beings who are obsessed with their basketball teams and get excited about them? All right, here we go, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Yoda was a coward and should have confronted the Emperor himself instead of spending a day or two at best training Luke to fight the two most powerful Force users in the galaxy.
Interesting theory. We saw in episode 2 how powerful and badass Yoda was as a fighter. Now, he had aged considerably by the time it was time to train Luke, but yeah, he really did have that child do his bidding for him, didn't he?
Never thought of that. I don't know what you're asking, Josh. Huh. Yeah.
John Bishop might be the person to ask to take
All
with
right,
that.
Let me flag that for later. I'll bring it up in the crossover. Ron says, I have an opinion. Child's Play is the best candy mix, full stop. Love Ron in Omaha.
Child's Play?
I don't know what that is. Let's look.
Like Chucky the Killer Doll?
Child's Play candy. Oh, it's like it's a good mix. It's like a Halloween mix.
Okay. All
right, so what's in there?
Dots, Tootsie Roll.
Bad.
Those fruit Tootsie Rolls.
Those are fine.
Tootsie Pops.
Those are good.
Yeah, that's it. 3.5 pounds of them though.
That's a big bag. That's a big bag of candy.
Mm-hmm.
Tootsie Rolls, Tootsie Pops. Yeah. The flavored Tootsie Rolls aren't bad. I also don't want the things that I have to I don't know. They give those packages a 2 Starburst Josh, you seen these?
Yeah, I got a bag of them at my house. My kid loves them.
Those things suck.
Yeah. It's not.
You have to unwrap the package of Starburst and then unwrap the Starburst.
Yeah.
You can't do anything while you're eating that candy. You have to focus solely on unwrapping the candy.
Either
you can't even watch TV while you're eating that candy.
Either make them loose Starbursts wrapped in one bag.
That's right.
Or
a full bag of Starburst individually wrapped.
Yes.
Absurd candy. Absurd candy.
I don't need a double wrapped candy.
Okay, that's it. That was a lot of opinions. Thank you for your guys' participation.
I'm going to say something.
This is so good. I love
that.
This
Was
segment.
the best version of I Have an Opinion we've done.
Yeah, we're 4 weeks in. They say the biggest improvement comes from week 3 to week 4.
Yeah, that's right. Remember that, Husker fans.
Are you going to give out some tickets to somebody?
I will find some people who want some tickets.
So does that mean we don't have any tickets? Or can you? Are you going to give away 2 4-packs of tickets, or do I have one still to give away at some point during the show today?
I will give away 2.
Okay, that's it. No more tickets.
They gone.
All right. That is I Have an Opinion. We look forward to your opinions next week. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
He gives you the latest sports news, interviews, and life-changing commentary with a smile on his face. Because he wears those ticklish underpants.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Today at Big East Media Day, brought to you by Orange Crush and Schweppes.
People forget.
The Kraton men's basketball team was picked to finish second in the conference in its annual survey of its league's coaches. # respect to Greg McDermott, ? Preseason all-first team, Alex Caravan, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Cam Jones, Bryce Hopkins, Eric Dixon, still there, and Kadari Richmond. None of those players new to the Big East Conference, but one of them has a new school. Kadari Richmond's new school, the new movie coming out in, it's like The Emperor's New Groove. Kadari Richmond now plays for St. John's. Big East's second team does not include a Blue Jay, but it does have 2 Butler Bulldogs, Pierre Brooks, Jameel Telfort, and Davion Smith from St. John, Zach Fremantle from Xavier, Davion McKnight from Xavier. Big East third team, Josh.
Oh.
You want to hear the all Big East third team?
I'm dying to hear it.
Aiden Mahaney from UConn.
Obviously.
Stephen Ashworth from Creighton. Jaden Epps from Georgetown. Ryan Conwell from Xavier. And Wooga Poplar from Villanova. Your boy Wooga. Wooga. Creighton finished second in the preseason coaches poll, just 2 points ahead of Xavier. 10 out of the 11 first place votes went to Connecticut, the 2-time defending national champions. The other vote went to 4th place Marquette.
Oh, somebody going out on a limb.
UConn, Creighton, Xavier, Marquette, St. John's, Providence, Villanova. Villanova picked 7th. Butler, Georgetown, Seton Hall, sans Kadari Richmond, and poor DePaul, who got 12 points. So I think there was 11 voters here because clearly there are 11 voters because there are 11 teams in the conference. DePaul must have got every last place vote but one. I guess that's how I read this.
Okay.
Poor DePaul. Or good job by DePaul, not getting every last place.
Yeah, is that more than last year? Worse than last year?
Creighton's history in the Big East preseason poll. Last year, Trey Alexander, Ryan Kalkbrenner, and Baylor. Last year, Ryan Kalkbrenner and Trey Alexander were each first-team picks. Baylor Shireman was a second-team pick. Ryan Kalkbrenner, a first-team all-conference preseason pick in 2022-2023 as well, when the Jays were picked to win the league. So Kalkbrenner is a preseason first-teamer for the 3rd year in a row. And Kalkbrenner is also the preseason Big East player of the year.
Only one of those.
Only one player, one single player of the year. Jays have now in 3 consecutive the last 3 preseason polls have been picked to finish first, second, and second. Man, it's a heck of a program that they got over there. Sorry, I know. Oh, good great basketball talk. My ears are burning.
Husker Country actually says, continue with Kraton basketball talk. Nothing to discuss with Husker football.
All right, cool. We'll talk about it all day long.
Heath says Big Caulk is easily the best nickname in college basketball.
So Rob in the pronunciation guide this year, and I don't know what it looked like last year. I have to pull up my media guide.
You save them year to year.
In the media guide, I do actually. I have a nice little box for them at home. In the pronunciation guide this year, it says Kaulk. Caulk. Yeah. So there's no confusion with Kalk.
Please hit the L.
Brenner. Yeah. Almost deep Kalkbrenner, which is good. Somebody, we got a text yesterday, I think, that said Creighton's overrated this year. What was that, Josh? We talked about it for a second off air.
We did.
There's like Creighton's going to be overrated this year. Creighton is getting, I'll say this, the Blue Jays have a lot of hype because, and they've earned it because of the program that they've become, but it'll be a really interesting season. They have quite the non-conference schedule. The last time they had quite the non-conference schedule, it didn't go so well for them for a variety of different reasons, but it ended up in a Sweet 16. But I mean, losing Trey Alexander, Baylor Shireman to, borderline NBA players, that's not going to be easy to do. You still have the best player in the league, the most important player offensively, definitely the most important player defensively in the league. This team, if we're to get into the analysis of it a little bit, it's smaller, it's less physical, it has less versatility. I think like Ashworth is small, right? Pop Isaacs is small. What are you going to do on the wing is still a question. Is it Jemiah Neal or is it Mason Miller or is it some combination of something else? And then you have Kalkbrenner down low. Like Jackson McAndrew is going to figure into the thing a little bit, so he provides some versatility with guys who can guard a little bit. I wonder about them defensively. I wonder about them defensively. And maybe the answer is, okay, let's run people off the three-point line if we can, funnel them into the gigantic tree man, and our defense is still going to be if Creighton is to once again hit that Ken Pom stat of the top 25 offense, top 25 defense, I think that I don't think they'll have much of a problem scoring the basketball, being a top 25 offense. If they hit that top 25 metric on defense, it's all the big man. It's all tree. It's all tree.
All tree.
It's all tree. That would be a hell of an accomplishment for that guy, who already had so much riding on his shoulders in this program. But it's all tree. It's all tree because they don't have a ball stopper like Trey had been.
Right.
Baylor provided this defensive flexibility and versatility. Obviously, he brought a lot on the offensive end as well, and you have to replace that. But like, they don't have those pieces. Mac even said today that Jemiah Neal is like still a little bit of an adventure on the defensive end. Pop and Ashworth just don't give you that much. So defense, like Creighton's gonna have to win some shootouts probably.
Yeah.
But if they can get that metric where it has been the last several years, without Trey and without Baylor and without some of the flexibility that they've had on defense over the last several years, that is a heck of an accomplishment for Mr. Tree Man. That's for sure. That's my take on Creighton.
Are they gonna be like run and gun? Are they gonna like play fast?
Well, I think they should.
Okay.
I think they should go because they have some. They have a little bit of depth.
Okay. That's good. That's something they haven't had in the last couple seasons.
They got some guys who could score it. So, yeah, those teams tend to be a little bit more volatile. Come March,
inconsistent.
Yeah, right. So I have little doubt that they'll be able to figure out what works best for them. But maybe they just don't have quite as high of a ceiling as they've had over the last two seasons.
Mac,
how mad are people right now?
No, a lot of people are. No, this is fine. I don't need to talk about the football right now. Mac commented on the schedule.
Yeah, what did Mac say about that schedule?
He said,
who's the idiot who made that schedule?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, that guy should get fired.
He just did this 2 years ago when they did the Maui, and then everybody got sick, and then they played Texas. And it's like, dear kid, they lost to Nebraska. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing? This year might even be harder. They play Alabama and Kansas outside of Mega NIL tournament, where they might play Alabama again.
Here it is. Greg McDermott, when asked about Creighton's non-conference schedule, who the hell put that schedule together? That guy must be losing it.
Good take by Mac. Good take. Here's John.
Hi, John.
Can we stop with the Creighton basketball talk? I'm not done bitching about the horrible offensive coordinator Rule made the mistake of hiring. Sure.
All right.
Just wanted to tell you all that it's Big East Media Day.
Presented by Crush and Schweppes.
Presented by Crush. Orange Crush.
They paid a lot of money for those sponsorships.
Orange Crush.
Those bottle placements don't come cheap.
And Schweppes.
Do you think people were just drinking Schweppes at Madison Square Garden today for no reason?
No, there was a reason, Josh. Quick one for you before we take a break, Josh. How many people do you think made the preseason All Big East women's team?
How many people?
How many people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because there's like 12 people on a team.
That's right. We love to honor people.
Oh, God. Repeat the question, please. And then I'll give you an
How
answer.
many people made the preseason All Big East women's team?
Like just the first team?
They don't do it that way. They just have a team, and then there's honorable mention.
Damn it, Val. I will go 9 because it's the number that makes the least amount of sense.
So close. 10.
See, I didn't want to go with an even number because they sometimes don't.
Lauren Jensen and Morgan Molly deservedly on the team that got honored, the Big East team. Jays picked to finish second in the league. They did get a first place vote over Connecticut.
Hello.
Suck it, Gino.
Coming for everything you got, Gino.
Back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. A quick reminder, though, about Rock of Ages Revisited, folks. The band's legendary 1976 farewell concert, The Last Waltz, hailed as the greatest live concert event of all time. Experience the magic of that historic night with the new star-studded lineup with the Life is a Carnival Last Waltz Tour 2024. That is next Tuesday, the 29th at the Orpheum. The Heartbreakers are together for the first time since Tom Petty's passing, plus more special guests are on tap at the Orpheum. And we got you tickets. Also, if you are interested in learning more about said concert, you can find out the details on our website, 1620thezone.com. Yeah. Just got a late I have an opinion.
Oh?
I'm going to forward this to you, Josh.
And you're going to make me pick.
I'm just...
Okay.
I just want you to get eyes on it.
Okay.
And we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Where should I be looking?
In the Equitable Bank, in your Equitable Bank inbox.
Ooh, okay.
I Equitable Bank emailed it to you.
Wow. Oh, there it is. Okay. Begin forwarded message.
Go.
Oh, that font is tiny. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It goes down an interesting road, connects it to Husker football.
Rebuilder. Yeah. 2, 3, 4.
Hey, look, Sam has another tweet reminding us about the sandwich day, the Kraton sandwich day. Remember the Kraton sandwich?
Yeah, you were going to get some answers on this.
So this was we missed the anniversary, which was over the weekend. But Kraton tried to build a big sandwich and failed.
Many years ago. It was too windy.
Yeah. 1988. They tried to. Oh no. It was October 23rd, 1988. Okay. This is sandwich day.
Okay.
All right. So
listen up, everybody.
This is a good time to actually talk about this. Thank you, Sam, for bringing this back to our attention. He says, by the way, Sam says, personally, I had Reverend Bishop's face during the crossover, but happy Kraton can't build a sandwich day to all of those that celebrate. So, Creighton University students attempted to break the Guinness Book, the Guinness World Record for world's longest sandwich.
A noble
October
endeavor.
23rd, 1988. A local Subway donated the $12,000 sandwich with the plan to use more than 1,600 feet of bread, which the shop had been baking especially for this since August. 1,500 pounds of ham and turkey, 600 pounds of tomatoes, 600 pounds of onions, 500 pounds of lettuce, and 300 pounds of cheese.
Who's cutting all that?
The Subway location's owner, Rob Kirk, said at the time, quote, "It's crazy, but I wanted to see something to get everyone together, something that everyone will remember." But as they say...
technically he did that. We're talking about it all these years later.
The meeting, MEATING, was originally set at and intended to celebrate the newly built Creighton University Sports Complex. The CU Sports Complex.
Hello.
How about that? Which is undergoing, various improvements, things like that over the years. By the way, just talked to Creighton baseball coach Ed Service yesterday. You can hear that in your Jays pod feed tonight.
Jays pod.
So, Creighton tried to build a big sandwich. Quote, "We had picked a nice day. The breeze was light. The sun was shining. We had tables and ingredients set up all over the turf, but then the breeze turned into a gale force. Things kind of went south after that." Later, colleagues at Creighton would describe this event to themselves as, quote, "the miracle of the flying loaves. Winds more than 45 miles per hour chased the event indoors, trimming the sandwich's length and thwarting Creighton's record attempt."
They could not rebuild.
They could not find a substitute. They did find a substitute venue, but it wasn't big enough to go up into the Kiewit Fitness Center gym floor, which has been renovated many times since. Creighton students still managed to build an 1,100-foot-long sandwich, which broke the Nebraska record, but it fell short of the world's longest sandwich by about 400 feet.
Not even really all that close.
1,583-foot-long Colossus sandwich made in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The record now apparently has been broken. It stands at 2,400 feet. All the dignitaries were out for this event, including the Omaha mayor.
Wow. In person.
Community dignitaries, things like that. They were there to see a gigantic sandwich be built and the opening of the CU Sports Complex. They did see the opening of the complex. They did not see a world record sandwich be built.
It's a very long sandwich. It's a lot of sandwich. But
not
sadly
long enough.
Not enough.
It's 36 years ago. 36 years ago today. Kraton tried to build a big sandwich.
It was 1,100 feet is what they got to?
Yeah. Not enough. Joel writes in.
That's like 3 2/3 of a football field.
Good math. Joel writes in.
Hi, Joel.
Typical Kraton. They can win against Nebraska, but they can't get the big one.
They can get very far, but not far enough.
Not far enough. Not far enough. Here's a story that we mentioned at the top of the show, that I'd like to talk a little bit about before we get to Robin Washut here. So remember how Monday Night Football did a doubleheader?
Yeah, they've done doubleheaders in the past.
They have. This one in particular.
Oh, there was one this week.
Yes. The second one they put on ESPN Plus, which is not on TV.
Famously.
Yeah. Now they have Amazon Prime games and they have Peacock games. There are some streaming only games that they have done before, but almost, if not all of them, have been in exclusive windows, meaning that there wasn't another game going on at the exact same time. And more importantly, maybe this is where they aired, Josh. If you were going to do an ESPN Plus exclusive, put them both on there. That way people don't have the option to watch it on TV.
That might have been the way to do it.
Yeah. So this did not go well for the NFL. According to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, the game between the Cardinals and the Chargers, which was broadcast on ESPN Plus on Monday night, drew an audience of 1.8 million people. That's probably less than all but like one or two of Nebraska's games just this season. Pretty bad. Horrible for an NFL game.
WNBA Finals Game 5 outrated it. Now that was on TV, not direct apples to apples. But
Florio writes, nowadays 1.8 million isn't a bad number for a sporting event, but it's an awful number for an NFL game. That's why ESPN didn't mention the audience numbers for Chargers Cardinals. Hopefully, Florio writes, the number was low enough to get ESPN to not do another staggered doubleheader with one of the games on ESPN Plus. And if they want to get rid of the staggered Monday night doubleheaders altogether, I won't complain. I won't either, Josh. We have talked about this. I think it's stupid. And honestly, like, I don't really get it. I don't get why you do a Monday night doubleheader in the first place. I don't get it.
Alan Bell summed it up very perfectly earlier this week. I am always, yes, more football, but for whatever reason, the Monday night doubleheader doesn't work. It should.
I mean, the game's gonna get played. Put it on Sunday with all the normal games and have people watch it like normal people.
I think staggering it the way they did, but both of them being on TV is probably the best option.
Or both of them being on streaming.
Right.
Like I said.
Nothing like having to back out of one app, enter another app.
It's too hard to navigate. I mean, that's the thing, right?
Sometimes I don't even watch the Amazon Prime game because I have to back out of the app just to change the channel.
It's hard to watch it on television.
I understand. Oh, two screens. You watch what here, what there. Sometimes that's a lot of work.
That's why the streaming games have always been exclusive in their own windows. There's no other games going on at the same time. Who could have predicted that this would have happened when people, it's lazy, whatever. People don't want to change the input on their television.
Yeah.
It's worse than changing the channel. It's way harder. Poll question. Is changing the input on your television harder than changing the channel?
Okay.
I would argue that it is by a long shot. And you got to open up the app and it takes a long time.
Yeah.
All right. We're back with Robin Washut on the other side. We'll talk some hoops and some football when we return on the Connor Happer Show in 1620 The Zone.
the biggest basketball coaching convention of. You can work on your skills. Are you looking?
What?
You don't remember? Yeah, I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washut.
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washut, Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Robin Washut joins us now on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline. Hi, Robin.
What's up?
Take us through your process. If you have to watch, first of all, I guess I should ask the question: do you have cable, or are you a stream boy?
Stream boy.
Okay,
all the way.
All right, stream boy. So, if you have to watch, do you have YouTube TV?
Nope, Hulu.
Okay, Hulu TV, same thing. So you're watching a game on Hulu TV, but there's another game on like ESPN Plus or Amazon Prime TV. How difficult is it to change because you have to change like the input or back out of the entire app entirely to watch that other game? Or would you rather just stick on the worst game that you're watching on your Hulu or whatever?
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Like, it's I either have to like see something interesting is developing on my phone, or the game that I'm watching is not doing it for me. So then I'll make the change. But yeah, the exiting out of apps thing is a problem, and I wish that there was a more simple solution. And probably one of the biggest downfalls to watching live sports on a streaming service.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but the Monday night game, the Monday night doubleheader, I found myself not even watching the ESPN Plus game because it was too much of a hassle to get over there.
Yep, same. And it's even worse in college football when there's even more games spread out through more channels. So I'm just finding the game too. Like,
that's
the
other thing. Yeah,
scroll through like a bunch of like HBCU games to get the Big Ten Network games.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason or of like an order of when they show up on there. You just have to sort of scroll or browse or whatever. All right, Robin. Fortunately for Nebraska, or unfortunately, I don't know. They are on linear television this week. Where do you come down on yards per play gate from yesterday?
I mean, Satterfield certainly didn't do himself any favors. But again, I think it was one of those instances where like anything he said was probably going to get used against him at this point, and then he threw out that red meat, and it just kind of took off. I mean, I don't put like if sure it's like I think he was caught off guard by the question a little bit. Like he didn't even know what like, a good yards per play was, which I guess maybe is the most concerning part of it. Like about what level Nebraska needs to get to be among the nation's best in that regard. But I don't think that it's like this end all be all defining point. Like I think the product on the field is far more important than him throwing out an arbitrary average per game number.
I'm with you. It really didn't bother me much, to be honest, and I think it underscores the point that you made, which is just we're in a moment right now. Can't do anything right. It's landmine week. Whatever those coordinators and the head coach says, people just aren't going to want to hear it. Now, I will say this: when you get to that point, because we haven't gotten to that point yet with this coaching staff. This is a little bit of uncharted water. So I wonder how the fan base responds. It obviously all depends on the game on Saturday and beyond, how the season finishes up. But I wonder how sort of the coaching staff approaches what is, I'm sure, been a very difficult week for them as well.
Yeah, I guess the good news is that for Rule, he's been through this before. His last stop ended in not so favorable terms. So, I think he kind of understands. But again, this is for him at the college level. Usually he's always kind of done things on his terms because they've won. And when you win, you're allowed that. But when you lose and do so in the fashion they did on Saturday, there's people want answers, and even if there's really not a clear reasoning for why Saturday happens, people still want something tangible to suggest that you're doing things to make it better. And for a lot of people, that immediately jumps to, well, what coach can we fire? And, I understand the sentiment because the overall body of work for Nebraska's offense and even Nebraska's special teams have been downright bad for the most part. But I'm kind of in that camp where I just don't know what a firing accomplishes. Like, does firing Satterfield and letting Glenn Thomas call plays suddenly make you block better on the perimeter and make your running backs have better vision and make guys miss and have your offensive line get a better push? Maybe, I don't know, maybe schematically you can do some things to shake things up, but that seems to me, and especially based off just kind of how Rule appears to handle things, as something that would be addressed after the season, where you can actually take a step back, overview things in totality, not be a prisoner of the moment, and then also put yourself in a position where you have a much more viable list of candidates of how you're going to replace that. Because if they do make any changes with any staff member, but especially any of those coordinators, like, they've got to get it right, because already in year 2, it appears for at least a portion of the fan base, the clock is already ticking.
What is the thing or the arm of the offense that you feel like needs addressing the most, or would go a long way in remedying because it's pretty widespread on the offense right now? Like, what do your eyes go to first, Robin, to be like, oh yeah, if they can do a better job of this, then the offense would be in a much better position?
I mean, the easy answer is they run the ball better, especially on early downs, but like, they're trying to run the ball on early downs and they're not getting anything out of it. And then, all too frequently you're 2nd and long, 3rd and 11, and, trying to make your freshman quarterback have to gain you every single yard like they did last week. And so that is, I don't know if just committing to the run is the answer. I think you have to try to do some different things. And one of the things that really jumped out to me, especially last week, was you just watch Indiana's offense pre-snap. Like, they don't have overwhelming talent. They got a lot of good players, but like, if you look at their roster, none of them jump out. That's a surefire first rounder, like what Nebraska's going to see next week or this week. But what they do have is a bunch of guys that execute, and before the snap, they really make you think as a defense. They do a whole bunch of motions. They've mix up their packages, find ways to run the same play, but with a variety of looks. And just as a defense, if you're having to guess, that makes you a step slower. And I think right now Nebraska's offense isn't making people guess. Matt Rule even says himself that teams have figured out, if you just send the house on a run blitz on early down, you're going to stop the run, and you're going to pressure Raiola, you're going to get him shaken, and then on the perimeter, the receivers aren't good enough to beat press man coverage. And so, like, the formula is out there. So, as the old saying is, the definition of insanity is if you keep trying to do the same thing and expect different results. And I think the only thing that they can do, from a personnel standpoint, I don't know what answers there are. And again, I don't think a massive, firing and
no
anything in the season is going to change much. But what I think you can do is just try to shake up your operation a little bit to where you are running the same plays or the same concepts, but doing so with different looks that you haven't already shown on film for the last 7 games of the season. And doing some pre-snap motion to create some mismatches or whatever it may be. Like, I think the pre-snap element might be the easiest way to try to provide a spark, just because it would give Nebraska a fresh look offensive.
Yeah, I made this point, because somebody, and I don't mind this as a part of a solution or things that you could, something that you could do, more Heinrich Harburg, right?
Yeah.
And insert him into that run game a little bit more. I think that could help jumpstart, the offense a little bit. What do you think? I guess, what does that look like if Nebraska is to use Heinrich Harburg as sort of the jumper cables for the offense?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the opposition to that was like, well, then everybody would know if Harburg comes in, he's going to run it. Well, that's fine.
Well, at least they can do it. Everybody knows that anyway. Yeah.
I mean, that was the way it was last year. And so, but they still were able to at least get some sort of production on the ground. And, even if you're just making it a bit more than just a wrinkle, doing it 5 or 6 times a game, that can go a long way into opening up other things within your offense, to where you bring Harburg out there, he runs for a 4-yard gain. Cool. Now all of a sudden Raiola's got a 2nd and 6, and the defense has to adjust a little bit. I think that's something that certainly can be incorporated more. maybe some different personnel groupings too. Like I love that jumbo extra offensive lineman package. When you got Mazuka or whoever it is out there as a tight end, it's only going to get you 3 or 4 yards, but like it's pretty effective, pretty consistently effective. And with that, I think that's something that it can at least keep you on schedule. And I think that's kind of what Nebraska really needs to look for, is just finding ways to stay on schedule, even if it's not like overly changing the face of your offense. You can do things to at least make life easier on second and third down than what you've been doing.
Two ways to look at it, right? There is, I think there's, and you just laid a whole bunch of them out there. There's a whole bunch of like quick fixes that are going to, they'll probably get Nebraska yards because they've gotten them yards before. It keeps them on the field. It keeps them on schedule. All of those things. Like I think those are quick fixes that Nebraska can employ right away. But then there's also the bigger problem, I think, of like you have to get good at the stuff that you're trying to do also. And I think that would be Rule's argument coming back and be like, well, yeah, but we still have to do this stuff too. So if people are like, yeah, bring in Harburg more and do the Mazuka play and run trick plays or whatever, those are quick fixes. But Rule is saying, I think he would say, yeah, we got to get good at the stuff that we want to do too.
Yeah, there's certainly that, but at the same time, you also got to win games.
No doubt.
The development within season is a big part of it. But at the same time, if you lose out, you finish with another 5-win season after starting 5-1.
Bad.
I don't care how much guys you've developed in the offense. Like, you are setting your program back significantly, and any sign of tangible progress is out the window. So, like, maybe you just do stuff like that against UCLA, and you go get that win. You're bowl eligible. Then you can start worrying about the long term, maybe a little bit more. But I think that if they just expect to just continue doing what they're doing, and all of a sudden things are going to magically get better without any, at least some sort of adjustments, they're going to be in for a rough stretch here.
Defensively, more of a blip on the radar or a disturbing trend?
I guess I don't know. Like, they've shown cracks, certainly, like that they can be vulnerable to certain things, and there's been games where the tackling hasn't been great, or sometimes downright bad. So that was probably the biggest thing for me, was just the tackling, and that Indiana was just running really the same things Nebraska was running, but they were just executing at such a higher level, and defenders weren't getting off blocks, and there was too many one-on-one tackling opportunities, and those guys were missing the tackles. And so that's for a defense that considers itself elite, those are the types of things that can't happen. You got to be able to rally to the football, and even if a team is executing at a high level, you just got to outwork them and have the numbers there to turn plays that Nebraska's getting 1 or 2 yards on and prevent those from going for 50 like Indiana was doing.
Yep. Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Robin, are you excited to get back into the basketball arena to see the basketball on Sunday?
Yes, and if I'm knocking on wood as we speak right now, but if all goes accordingly with our flight, I should be back in Lincoln from Columbus in plenty of time to make it to PBA. So
oh, wow.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, it's going to be a long day. We got a 7 a.m. flight out of Columbus Eastern time. Basically go to the airport and head straight to PBA. But this is the first quote-unquote real look we'll see of this team against another opponent. And I'm sure some takeaways, even if they're minor, can be gained from it.
Let me ask you something, because you seem like you know what you're doing. What time do you leave on Friday? Just so I can know if I can call Sipple or not.
Friday. It's early, so I think the flight leaves at like 8.
What time do you get in?
Good question. So the time zone's throwing me off.
Yeah.
I think it's like around like noonish.
Oh boy! All right.
I'll check. Let me look at the app.
Send me your itinerary.
Yeah, I just show up to the airport. Like
okay. All right. Well, Sipple clearly does too. So
yeah,
more
often than not, I do bring a suitcase.
I just want to know if I call him at 12:30 if he's going to answer.
Yeah, I will text you back and give you confirmation.
Okay, I appreciate it. See you. We'll probably see you on Sunday then.
Yes. All goes well, I will be there.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Yep. You too.
Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Yeah, that's That's our new thing for road games now. We're just going to ask Robin to send me the itinerary on Sipple.
Help us out.
It's easier. I could ask Sipple, but he wouldn't know.
Right.
And so
I don't know. Whenever the plane gets there.
I think I got to dig back I think I got something somewhere. So, yeah, see, I don't want to go through that. Like, Robin knows where it is and he can send it to me.
Right.
He might not know off the top of his head, but yeah. All right. I got a couple emails that we can get to coming back. One email from Bullet Point Bob.
BPB.
The subject line is Vicious Circle.
That could be
Actually, I
anything.
think this says Viscous Circle. It's very thick.
Viscosity.
Also, local TV watcher Joe has chimed in.
Hi,
on
Joe.
How to watch television correctly.
We know, Joe. We know multiple screens are a thing.
We'll get to that on the other side. Also, a quick reminder that you need to get your picks in for 25K 4-quarter pick'em. It is open for the week. If last week our winner got all 10 games right,
impressive,
very good, and it is going to, I believe, come here at some point today and pick up his check for $2,500.
No one has sent me the photo yet.
Okay, so it hasn't happened yet.
Okay,
but I see our banner is all ready to go for picture time.
It's been pressed.
David's going to come in and pick up his winnings at some point over the next couple of days. Congratulations to him. You could be like David and win $2,500. Get signed up immediately and make your picks now on our website, 1620thezone.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Josh Hodson, Connor Happer. Josh, this is your last day of the week. Goodbye,
That's
Josh.
right.
People
That's
don't listen to this show without you. You know that, right? They
No,
love
that cannot
you.
possibly be true.
They love your quips. They love your takes. They love it when you do your funny Husker voice.
Oh yeah.
Yep, they love that.
Oh,
They love it when that happens.
well then let's give the people what they want. Where is it? I
right
don't even
there.
know
Down,
anymore.
right, down, right.
Oh yeah.
If the coach could just put their cigarette out on my nipples, that would be great.
They love it when you do that.
They do. They don't find it condescending and douchey at all. That's what you sound like sometimes, fan base. Real friends tell you the truth. They don't just tell you what you want to hear.
I have an update from Robin Washut regarding
Oh yeah.
Husker Online's itinerary.
This is good.
They're scheduled to land in Columbus at 12:20 Central. Sipple
Ooh.
just getting off of an airplane and trying to get to baggage claim. Do we want to make that call?
Sometimes he doesn't bring a bag.
Yeah, but he can't get anywhere without Sean and Robin.
I don't love your chances.
I don't love our. I'm going to say that to Robin. I don't love our chances. We'll see. You never know.
I mean,
Sipple once told us to call him when he knew he was going to be on the airplane,
On a plane.
and he answered.
Yeah.
So you never really know.
If that plane is even 1 minute late, you got no shot.
Back to the main point. John asked the question, where the hell is Josh going? Yeah, Josh, what gives you the right to leave?
First of all, vacation is a construct.
Not really.
No, it's really not. It turns out there's a lot of structure within the lack of construct. I'm going to beautiful Garden City.
Yeah, but not till Friday.
That's right. Kids don't have school anymore, like ever. So I'm going to stay at home with the kid tomorrow.
I respect that.
He's in kindergarten. Why does he need a parent-teacher conference? Go to
I
school.
don't know.
He needs to learn. He's
I
in
don't know.
kindergarten.
I don't know.
I will also be getting assistance from a plumber.
Oh, okay. So you got some house stuff to do.
Yeah.
I get that. I'll be missing a day. Not next week, but the next week.
That's right.
Monday. My annual Monday off after daylight savings time goes into effect. That's not why. It's because
Daddy needs a day.
the women's basketball team at Nebraska is playing a game at noon, and all the children will be yelling and screaming. "Ah!" Nebraska and UNO are playing each other. "Ah!" I'll get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they'll be doing like this pep rally, and they're like, "All the kids from Wisner Pilger, you can go get your pizza now," and they say, "Ah!"
Kids love pizza,
so
man.
much fun. You give the kids free pizza, and they're gonna go nuts. That's what happens. That's what I'll be doing on November 4th. Okay, so a couple emails here. Bullet point, Bob.
BPB.
Conan. Is this the definition of a vicious circle? I think it's vicious cycle. I think that's the term we're looking for. Vicious cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, vicious circle works.
Definitely.
Vicious circle. Bullet point 1. We need Dylan Raiola to be a good offensive team. Bullet point 2. The offensive line prevents the offense from being good. Bullet point 3. Donnie Raiola is the offensive line coach.
Oh, no.
Bullet point 4. If we get rid of Donnie Raiola, we will lose Dylon. Bullet point 5. Without Dylon, we cannot be a good offensive team. Rule has put himself into a funny situation here as a non-Husker fan. This season is comedy gold, but it would also be nice if Saturdays were more fun and easygoing around here. Bob.
I don't immediately dismiss the bullet points of one Bob.
I think it is a vicious viscous circle cycle, but in a different way. So if you go back to last year, all right, Nebraska, let's start with Nebraska needs to get rid of the turnover issue. Right? Let's start there. Let's see how many bullet points I can make this, by the way. Nebraska needs to get rid of the turnover issue. Bullet point 1, right? Is that a problem from last year? Yes. They turned it over
7,000 times.
30, I think it was 31 times. So bad. Turnover 31 times. You need to get rid of the turnover issue. Okay. How do you get rid of the turnover issue? Bullet point number 2. You get a non-running quarterback or a quarterback that is good. Either way. All right. Cool. Bullet point number 3. Dylon. Here comes Dylon. Dylon comes around. Here comes Dylon. He's running the offense. Holy crap, we can't run the ball. What happened? Well, we lost our running quarterback. The thing that the offense has been predicated on for the last decade plus.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
We don't have a running quarterback anymore. We can't run the ball at all.
So you're saying Dylan is the problem. Got it.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Dylan is a problem, but I am saying Dylan is a part of the problem.
Whoa!
And I'm not saying that Dylan should run more or anything like that. That's not what he was brought here to do. Nebraska willingly accepted these terms. They put the 5-star quarterback who can't run and won't run into a scenario where Nebraska needs to be so good up front and in the traditional run game in order for its run game to work at all. Nebraska does not have those prerequisites for the run game to be good. Therefore, their run game sucks. Therefore, it makes their quarterback who can't run worse.
It's a viscous circle.
It's very viscous. It's thick as hell. It is. It's like an orange crush.
That can be their new name for Dylan.
It is thick.
Viscous circle.
This is a viscous circle, Josh. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And either way you point, you're like, well, that's a problem. Okay, they can't run the ball. Why can't they run the ball? Well, they can't. They lack diversity on offense. That's the offensive coordinator. So what do? You throw it around. Well, you can't. You can't throw it. You can't throw it around. Funny. You can't throw it around that much because that puts too much pressure on the quarterback's shoulders. He can't drop back 44 times a game, and you don't have good enough wide receivers, and those wide receivers can't get open.
I heard it.
Or can they? I don't know.
I heard it was because they're so good at pass pro.
They are.
They just can't run block.
They are actually pretty good at pass pro. They actually kind of are good at pass pro.
No, I agree with that. And
by the way, I don't think the offensive line is that bad. I just think Nebraska lacks they lack the creativity necessary to be able to do the things that they're trying to do with the personnel they have.
I understand that run blocking and pass blocking are two different skill sets, but I always sort of giggle when I hear a coach go, yeah, we're just really good at pass pro and really bad at run block. And I'm like, are they that different? I know they are, but like.
So Josh, you're a big blocking guy. They are different.
Push the guy in front of you down.
They are different. John texts into the show.
Hi, John.
From what I'm hearing, Connor is ready to bench Dylon and see what Gramstad can do.
Put that old ass B in the game.
I don't. I think they're saying. Well, I'll say this: I am now more open than ever to seeing other people play quarterback.
Briefly.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. In a role.
Let's be.
Let's
be clear about what we're saying and asking for.
I think so. We were just having this conversation with Robin. Do you want to get better at the stuff? Like, do you need to rep the stuff that you're trying to get better at over and over and over again? Or do you go for the jumpstart method?
Yeah.
I go for the jumpstart method. I got to win. I need points. I need first down. So that means I need Heine. I need Gramstad. I need some Barney, some tosses and some sweeps and some trickies. I need some of that stuff. I need I need the jumper cables. Let's buzz this thing back up.
We're definitely,
because it is dead right now.
Yeah, we're at a point where, hey, my arm got cut off. Just give me a bunch of Band-Aids. We'll solder it when we get home. Like,
yeah,
give me the Band-Aids. I'll start pushing forward, win some games, and I'll get in there and really fix it much later.
Later. It's at a later time. Also, notable, Nebraska plays Ohio State this week. Not great.
What do you mean this store is out of Band-Aids?
Chris in Montana writes in.
Hi, Chris.
Dylon may just leave anyway.
No.
He figures the system isn't his benefit to get to the next level. Yeah, people keep saying that. I don't know. It's got to get better. That's for sure. One thing at a time, guys. They'll be worried about, like, you're at exit 385 and you got to get all the way to exit 100 to get out of the state, or 0 to get out of the state. Like, let's just do one thing at a time here. Sorry, you're only in between Lincoln and Omaha. No, you're west of Lincoln. You're going to Wyoming,
Western Nebraska.
You're west of Lincoln, but you got 385 miles to go. Let's just worry about that later. Let's worry about what the weather is like in Scottsbluff when we get to North Platte, not Scottsbluff, or not Lincoln. Okay? This whole thing is like a drive to Yellowstone.
I'm driving to Garden City.
Even worse.
It's terrible.
Even worse. Jeff says, I will now be adopting Viscous Circle going forward. Or viscous, whatever it might be. Okay. Here we go. Venmo Chris. I don't want this, but if this team were to stay on this path, are we reaching bag on head territory? No. Also, Chris has always wondered, what are bag on head prerequisites? I would say if you win 5 games, you are not at all in bag on head territory. You've already won 5 more times than most of the bag on head teams. I understand that you guys don't feel good about this right now. Not near bag on head territory. It's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. There's levels of bad. By the way, got a tweet before from, we were talking about how difficult it is to change the input on your television to watch the game. So people commented in, they said, multiple screens. You have to get the multiple screens. I get it. All right. So here's Mr. Multiple Screen local television watcher Joe, aka producer Joey. He tweets into the show, local football watcher here, just use a couple screens to watch the games. Main television used for channel flipping. First, small TV, use antenna for local channels. Second, small TV, Roku stick, of course. Computer/tablet, emergency illegal streaming. That's what you use that for. No changing inputs. Trust me. I have some questions, Joe. First of all, like, I don't have a TV that is... I don't see the necessity for the television that only has the bunny ears for the local channels. If I would just log into YouTube TV twice or 3 times to get what I want out of this. And I don't need a computer or a tablet for emergency illegal streaming. I don't need that. It's not important to me. If it's not on legal television, I just won't watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Twitter.
I'm not dying to watch Magic Hornets and digging up an illegal stream.
There's actually only one scenario where I'll go to the illegal stream. Bud Crawford fight.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's the only one.
That's a good. I mean, you should be paying for those because that's money.
I know, but
you should be buying local.
I should be. I should probably go to a sports bar and pay them. But it's late at night. You never know when those things are going to start.
Yeah.
They say it starts at 8, but it starts at 12.
Yeah,
you never really know. I'm not staying at a sports bar for more than 4 hours.
You don't want to get murdered.
No, I don't.
Because apparently, if you go out after
hashtag
midnight,
Murder Town. What was that caller interested in? By the way, what information did you have to tell?
We just got to fix our app. Get it to play the podcasts.
Okay, gotcha.
First time hearing of this problem.
Just go to if you want to get our podcast, just go literally anywhere else. For the record, we love that you use our app, but if you want to get the podcast to our show, go literally anywhere else.
This is what you should do every day. Open up that app, click around to a couple things, just a couple different things, random pages, doesn't really matter what.
Just get those clickies.
And then close the app and
Go anywhere
else.
We're back with the polls. We'll tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone. To the polls at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. We actually have those today.
Plenty of them. More than you can handle, I bet.
We actually had some from yesterday that need to be addressed here.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
In the
yesterday.
crossover, post this segment.
That's right.
Have you ever TP'd a house?
Yes.
71% say yes. Is TPing vandalism?
I believe by letter of the law, yes.
52% say no. Have you ever loved a tree?
Most voted on poll question of the day. No.
51% say yes.
Ooh.
Do you know how trees work? I'll say no on that one.
I generally vote no on these questions.
83% say yes.
Oh, wow.
They know how trees work. That's
Right.
yesterday. Here's today. Would you rip an Orange Crush right now?
So hard.
I actually would too. I don't really love orange soda, but I would. 74% say yes.
And I will be before the day is done. Mark
Does
my words.
Dump Cake have a bad PR team?
Yes. Terrible name.
80% say yes. Is Up, the movie Up, a classic whodunit?
One of the best poll questions of the month. I'm telling you that now.
No, it's not, though.
No, it's not.
61% say no. Two more. When Nebraska loses by 5 touchdowns, should everyone in the state get a free slice of Valentino's pizza the next day? Hashtag Big Red Pizza Party. Yes.
Yes.
86% say yes. And finally, is changing the input on your television harder than changing the channel? I think this is indisputable.
Yeah, that just factually, yes.
80% say yes. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching tonight?
We are watching the NBA, a much larger slate today than last night. Doubleheader on ESPN. The Bucks at the Sixers. Who's playing for the Sixers? I don't know.
Nobody.
Not anybody you'd want to watch. Also, NBA, you got a real load management on nationally televised games problem. And then
load management on opening day
night.
Give me a break.
And then Suns Clippers at 9:00. We get to talk to Jacob about the Suns tomorrow, which is great. And we get that tour of that shiny new arena that the Clippers are playing at.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fun, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing more bells and whistles.
The Wall.
Toilets.
College football. The Libs are at Kennesaw State tonight. That's Liberty.
Congrats to the Libs.
Kennesaw State, 6:00, CBS Sports Network. Middle Tennessee State at Jacksonville State, 6:30 on ESPN.
We now know, because of Marcus Satterfield's gaffe, that Kennesaw State sucks at offense. Give me the Libs.
I imagine Kennesaw State is at the bottom of almost every statistical category in college football.
But specifically yards per play.
Yeah, that's right. Now we know that.
Less than 4.
I kind of hate that I know that, actually. Yeah. It is the Flyers and the Capitals on TNT, True TV, and Max at 6:30 tonight. And Connor, we have a sports doc on Netflix.
Oh, great. What's it about? Aaron Hernandez?
No, it is a 3-part docuseries chronicling the 2004 Boston Red Sox and their journey to their first world title in 86 years.
You know what, Josh? It's about time that somebody did a thing on that.
I know. Yeah. Just
and talk about a well-timed documentary release too. So important because the Red Sox are so relevant right now.
Very relevant.
It's just it's almost this will be just as good, I think, as the Jordan doc.
Now
this will be it's perfect. We needed this.
I didn't go on my ESPN Plus and watch the Monday Night Football game, but maybe I will go on there and watch 4 days in October, the 30 for 30 on this exact topic, and see if the talking heads match up. The Netflix version has Pedro Martinez, David Ortiz, and Kevin Millar. I bet those
Did they get Dan Shaughnessy?
Do you want Dan Shaughnessy?
Did the other one get Dan Shaughnessy?
Almost assuredly. That was a Bill Simmons produced thing.
Because Dan Shaughnessy was like the prime player,
Right.
because he was the one who Millar told, "Don't let us win tonight."
Yeah.
God, I know that story too well.
Good thing we have a 3-part docuseries to digest on it.
Can't wait. Very excited.
These children are idiots. They don't know anything about anything. History is nothing to them.
Chris in Montana says, "Oh my God, if I hear Sweet Caroline, I'm going to puke." What a take.
Almost assuredly the theme song for each episode of the doc.
So good. So good. So good. That's it, Josh? That's all on television
Yeah,
tonight?
that's all we got.
Dear God. It's Wednesday. I will say this. I have enjoyed my Tuesday and Wednesday sans football.
There's been college football on, though, Connor.
Not really. And I did watch a good portion of the Lakers in the background last night. And I'll probably watch some NBA tonight. But I haven't felt like I've needed to watch it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes you go home from a long day of sportsing and you have more sports to watch and you're just like, does it ever end?
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
But it did end the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Which was nice. All right. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the show. Enjoy your weekend in lovely Garden City.
Impossible. But
I'm sure at least the ride down there will be comfortable and spacious and luxurious.
It's a better van than it used to be.
All right.
Hey, cram me into.
Cram up your cram hole, LaFleur.
Put me in a Chevy Cavalier if we're winning.
Oh, okay. You're that guy.
Yeah.
You're a do anything for wins guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got you. All right, that's the show. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.